Oh, right, Ocelot was a thing, and like, I guess it shows. I think it just cleared more things up.
Ocelot. No, I'm just kidding. No, I got him. I got him. I fucking got him. He almost corrected himself. Oh, that's crazy. What's going on, installers? This is episode 5. It's like no god.
He's the one editing the audio. This is his problem.
It's true. I don't know why I'm worried about audio stuff when he's doing. Okay, so episode 5. It's so strange. I guess it's because we keep doing this. Like this is a bi-weekly podcast. It feels like we should have more than 5 episodes. And technically, we do, right?
Yeah,
Faith. But hey, whatever.
October was just kind of a blur.
October was a weird content month for us, but it's whatever. We added a new piece. Anyway, episode 5. We're here talking about Metal Gear Solid 1.
Master Collection.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
You played
What?
the entire Master Collection? That's amazing, Art.
Metal Gear Solid 1. It's a game.
It is a game.
So, let's start off with Kenji, the resident glazer, and we'll get his opinion on it, and we'll go from there. Kenji, take it away.
I would consider myself a glazer of this game in
Okay.
particular.
Okay.
If you give it
I
anything
have-
above a 7 out of 10, you're glazing
I will give it something above a 7 out of 10, but barely. This game has obviously shows its age. I think playing it now, or like with it in my memory now, compared to like some of the other MGS games I've played, like I can see kind of like how derivative the series is.
Yeah, okay.
Which kind of has sort of shifted my opinion on the series as a whole.
Wow, really?
Just kind of like,
this recent playthrough?
yeah, just kind of
Wow.
like because of how similar the games are to each other. That's just
Arnold's
like,
making faces, and I don't think he realizes. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
like yeah, just how similar the games are to each other. I'm just like, oh, they did it, obviously not like good I mean, I still think the game's good, but not to today's standards. Like, what do you expect a AAA game to be like?
Right,
It's like they
right.
already did a lot of the ideas they seem to have done.
Yeah.
This is mostly regarding like MGS3 and like MGS5.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, just like playing like sort of like PS1 era games in current year I always find
rough.
very interesting.
I would say rough, personally. But yeah,
I would normally agree with you, but given that it's on, we're playing like on PC at 60 FPS. I'm just like, because usually that's my main problem with PS1 games. It's just like the performance.
is like getting it to work really?
Yeah, getting it to work in like the frame rate.
Gotcha.
Like I don't deal with low frame rates that well. So like, oh, okay.
Bougie eyes.
Playing it at like, at 60, a log 60, I'm just like, okay, this is fine. Like
Okay.
that's
Yeah.
usually my main complaint.
Understood. So obviously, unless you want to say more, I'm just gonna ask for your number now.
I'd give it an 8 out of 10.
Okay.
An 8 out of 10. I still think it holds up fairly well. Like, or this port of it at least. I know like some other recent versions don't run as well as this.
Okay.
Not to say that this port is perfect. It's not exactly something I'm that knowledgeable of. Also,
You said 7, right?
8.
Or 8. Sorry, my bad. Okay.
Hold this.
I also do like that this is based off of the PS1 version, just because I do like that weird texture warping.
It
Think-
does.
That's something I
Look cool.
associate with that era. of
I
games.
like the way it looks. So yeah, I get what you're saying. So, you got anything else, or should I?
Not until we go more in depth
actually
and specific.
discuss about this game. So I'm gonna spit out gum because I have something in my mouth. Anyway, this game. I can't really.
We're live, Angelo.
This game is a 6 out of 10. I don't think I can say what I want to say unless we're actually talking about it. So I'm just gonna give it.
I guess to ask, is 6 out of 10 like in your grading scale? What is that? Is it like school grading where that's like a D, like
No,
barely passing?
no. So like 5 out of 10 is average.
Okay, so it's slightly above average.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10. There are things I want to say about it, but I think it might accidentally lead into like a more specific discussions about certain parts of the game. So I'm gonna leave it at that. 6 out of 10 for me. Is okay. He's okay. And I will say I'm kind of glad. I'm glad to have played it. Ariel, you go ahead.
Okay, so, this game is iconic. This game is very much, I would say, a quintessential game in general, like in the gaming spirit. That being said, I did not like this game. I did not like this game a lot. I think I would probably say like a 5, but like a high 5, like I guess a 5.5. Like just barely. I think I'm gonna say that very, 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 very barely, like I guess contradicting to what I said earlier, but I would say I like this game more than I do not like this game.
Same. I had very. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
But I don't like this game a lot. But that means I also like this game a lot. So
Yeah, like contradicting saying, most of it just comes down to I did not like playing it, and most of it was saved by this game is doing, I think, cool things as a video game, which was nifty at the era, and I feel like, besides certain like games designed to be that way, not really a thing that video games have done really since, like in general, like you know what I'm saying, like with the like breaking the fourth wall and like specifically like
the all the Psychomantis
stuff, like the when it's like, oh, I know you're gonna using a turbo button or whatever.
Yeah,
that stuff's cool. But yeah, I think overall, like having to play the video game though, that just really, I didn't like it. And then, I think gameplay is way more important than the story. So I really, like, if I wasn't required to play this video game, I don't think I would have gone through it on my own. I think I would have stopped probably
I
at the, not the docks. I think the like the first real room you get to.
I see. I know what you mean. I actually have a similar sentiment. I feel like this is a game I would have enjoyed more if I wasn't. I felt like at the end I was rushing. Mm-hmm. So we were kind of time because we have to beat a game in 2 weeks, right? I feel like I would have enjoyed this game if I had a month, but the only reason why I even went past the Ocelot fight is because of this podcast. So if I was playing this on my free time, if I actually did, get through, or if I sat down and like my goal is to finish the game, I probably would have enjoyed it if I didn't have the time thing for this podcast. But it was because of this podcast I even decided to finish it. If I didn't have this podcast and if I did have that month, I don't think I would have finished.
I guess, like one thing, I guess not to steal Ariel's spot, but one thing that I did do differently in this playthrough was like not a gameplay thing, but like a mindset thing. I was trying to like kind of imagine what it would be like to play this game like when it came out.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Because I'm just like thinking, like I actually like this playthrough made me appreciate this game more. Because I actually used to think a lot lesser of this game.
Yeah,
and like the things like Ariel mentioned, like the fourth wall stuff. Like honestly, if I experienced that, like at the time it came out, I would just think every game after this was just not interesting. Like I would just be like, man, games like would have peaked here, and just like everything just sucks now.
I can see that.
Until Stanley Parable came out.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is a lot of that in a different way. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was like the really the focus of it. That's just something like happened throughout the game, like mainly mainly in the Psychomantis fight, but then partly after.
Yeah, I mean, like you can only really do it like for the first time once, you know, like
Yeah.
Even though like I think Stanley Parable, not to get sidetracked, but I do think Stanley Parable does it in an arguably more interesting way. But yeah, like you can only experience that sort of thing like for the
Yeah.
first time, the one time.
Yeah.
Anyway, Ariel, you said you wouldn't play this unless.
No.
Yeah.
I think I legit like I would have stopped. Yeah, I would have stopped in the first room.
I would have gone to Ocelot, and I probably would have given up there if it wasn't for this podcast.
Yeah, and I think we can just go on to just
Okay.
specific discussion.
So I have my feelings are very complicated for this game, so that's why I'm like I gave it a 6 out of 10, and I can't really. My thoughts. I have a lot of thoughts about this game, and it's hard to verbalize and like really put into words. I have notes, but I would like to have Kenji and Oriel read them first because it is incoherent and it is all written when I was very angry, and I need Angelo now to translate later. I will in the podcast. We will go down the list, but I let's just. I'm gonna talk, but Kenji, just scroll through.
Do you want me to read it?
No, you don't have to read it. Just you just scroll through. So yeah, I have thoughts. Really, just like moments of frustration, but which leads to I think like more stuff. I don't know. I think I like this game for the most part, but I don't know if it's because it's an older game or whatever that I.
Okay, yeah, after a while, it becomes there's. I do want to address, I guess, the circle thing. Using circle to accept that was like very standard for Japanese.
I know that.
Yeah.
But it was still that's like again, some of my like frustrations is like. Is it because it's an older game and then like just certain design choices at the time that were very popular? Just like does it mesh
like
well
also
with me?
like Nintendo uses that same.
Yeah, I know Nintendo, but like it was just one of those things where if I have a Switch Pro controller, like my mind.
You could also rebind it.
I know, but I usually play.
I
Also,
get what you mean.
I don't know about this game specifically in the collection, but I do believe there is a way to pause using the collection menu.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah, like
R1, R1.
Does that not pause cutscenes or?
I'm gonna be honest. I never tried.
Because I remember hearing something about that, but I've never tried.
I've never tried either. I've never tried either.
Yeah, no, because this happened twice, and I did make sure to go back to watch the cutscene.
Did you go through all of it?
Not all of it. But
okay. Well, I think maybe because I don't know if you have notes. Do you have notes?
No.
And you definitely don't have notes.
No,
so the reason why I want you guys to read it is like maybe there's one thing that maybe you can help me understand. Okay, have something.
Okay,
and then we can talk about.
Stop. Yeah,
we can talk about them.
Give me back the phone after you're done. I didn't scroll all the way to the bottom
because I think I like this game, and obviously I say in the notes there's like many times where I say I hate this game and I don't like this game, but I think like actual not like adrenaline rage filled Angelo. I think I like this game.
I guess that's
just parts
something
where
that's I don't know. At least from I don't know about Ariel, but like definitely you like getting frustrated at games.
Yeah,
I guess that's something that's like it's very hard for me to be angry at a game.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I can't name that many games, if any, that has happened.
Yeah, I'm just an impatient person, and I get frustrated. So, is there anything specifically from my notes that you'd like to address and we could talk about? And then I can also translate exactly what the note really means during the moment. Because obviously,
I think I get most of it.
Okay.
I understand.
Okay, that's great. But like, just to You know, there are times where I'm like, I hate this game, and I'm like, do I really mean that? Not really. It's just I was really frustrated in the moment. So we'll see. Is there?
Anyways, I want to talk about controls. I don't like the controls.
Okay. Well, okay.
Yeah, overall, I don't like the way this game controls all too well.
Shush. Is there something you wanted to pinpoint from my notes exactly? Because if not, then we'll go into controls. But
I think for the
was it Dave?
no, it was the killing Snake would ruin the plan.
Oh, okay. So I guess spoilers. Did we say we're talking about MGS1? I think we are. Whatever.
Yes, we did.
So there's the plan. For those of you unfamiliar with the story of MGS1, why are you here? And so I'm just going to go ahead and assume everybody who's watching this is familiar with MGS1. At some point, Liquid and Ocelot, right, pretty much,
Yeah.
only them two were like, they don't have the activation codes because the DARPA chief died, so they're going to have Snake sort of go through the trouble of finding out how to use the keys, and then him using the keys would then activate the nuclear launch sequence for Metal Gear Rex. Now, with that being said, in my head, throughout the entire game, the Foxhound people and the like jobbers are all trying to kill Snake. So if at any point like Snake actually does die to them, the whole plan is borked, right?
Yeah. So I was gonna say I thought like presumably they could just steal the PAL key off of Snake's body.
But I think they didn't.
Yeah, they didn't. Like I was gonna say that, but then I thought, why didn't they take it during the Ocelot interrogation? Well, actually, it's because it's Ocelot. There's just another spoiler.
yeah,
Yeah, well, true. But also, I had the idea of like that they didn't know how to use the key.
that's what I thought at first until like I would assume that with the
We're kind of starting off with story here, but
yeah,
that's okay.
I would assume with like Snake's like radio thing that either Liquid or Ocelot would be able to listen in
Right.
on it, and so they would have figured it out that way.
Gotcha. So then technically it wouldn't have mattered if he died.
Yeah,
So they would have had the key.
they would have
anyway?
had the key, and then
Okay.
also Liquid, yeah, because of his thing, or not Liquid, Ocelot, because of his thing, he doesn't care if the plant.
Also,
succeeds or
doesn't
not,
care,
yeah.
right? But Liquid does. But I do have to address one thing. So obviously, Liquid is Master Miller
Yeah,
throughout the entire game.
Yeah.
But Otacon only tells Snake about the temperature stuff like towards the end. So like, what happens if Snake dies?
I think the assumption is that they would have just looked for.
They would have
Otacon,
figured it out
yeah.
at some point. Okay. Well, again,
They weren't exactly on a time crunch
yeah.
then.
Oh, oops.
That's gonna take me 20 hours to edit that out. Andrew.
Okay. I want to go through all my notes, but I think Ariel is right to bring up controls. We usually kind of go
Gameplay first.
gameplay first. So that's just one of my notes. I have much more. I have a lot more to.
I feel like
think.
yeah, just through the natural talking, we'll like hit. some of them.
Yeah. So controls, Ariel. What are your specific grievances?
I don't.
I don't think I have any. Go ahead, because yeah.
Yeah. So
This game just confuses me. I don't know. It's like I don't really know how to feel about it.
yeah. So I guess it's a part of it is the limitation of the time because, like you said, it's all digital. What was the thing with the?
So there is analog input, but not for speed. It's just direction.
Yeah.
So which is a little confusing. Like, because now it's standard that you're ramping up to the
Yeah.
max speed. That's my only real complaint with the normal like locomotion controls. Is that like I would, if you're gonna have analog input, I would prefer to be able to like slow walk in some way.
Yeah.
I do not like the aiming controls for the sniper rifle at all.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
that's
suck.
bad.
I gotta ask, so the analog stuff is because this is a remaster, right?
No, that was in the PS1.
Wait, but the PS1 didn't have an analog control.
Yeah, it had the DualShock. The original DualShock.
The
was
DualShock
PS1.
control had. I thought the DualShock 2 is when they had analog.
No, analog. The DualShock is the analog.
Oh, no, I thought.
Yeah,
Is this a PS2 game? Is
This is a PS1 game. The
Okay,
PS1, so
They had two controllers,
yeah,
right?
the original controller
controller-
didn't have the sticks,
Yeah, it
and
just
then,
had the
and then
D-pad.
eventually the DualShock came out, which had
Oh,
the
I have
sticks.
always. The first time I saw an analog stick on a controller was when I got a PS2.
Yeah, I think
So
that's
I
it was just
remember-
standard. Like
I had
as
a
I'm-
PS1,
Yeah,
and it was
the
only
PS2 was the first one to
Yeah, 'cause-
launch with the.
Yeah, because assuming
okay.
you had a PS1 and you got the controller, your parents probably wouldn't buy you another controller for the thing you already have a controller for.
Okay, well, anyways, so then okay, so I have an issue. I have a issue with I guess maybe I'm just bad with the controls then because I like removed it from my mind because I thought it was because it was like an added thing. You know how when you like press a direction, you hit, you like post up against the wall.
Yeah,
I hate that.
You just if you're using the stick to move, you just hug walls when you're not supposed to.
Yeah, I fucking
Like-
hate that. Oh my god. Yeah, there's many times.
Especially if you're running away from something or somebody, and then you just hit a wall, and it's annoying.
Yeah, and especially like early on when I wasn't quite used to it, there was just times like I was trying to explore the little first area, and then it's like okay, I'm hugging the wall, and then it wouldn't, and then I would either like stop hugging it for whatever reason or hug it, and then I get like caught by the camera, and then I was like, oh, I'm an alert, and then I lose because I'm bad at this video game.
Yeah, I didn't have that issue, but I do have an issue with the wall, the leaning up against the wall, is that it becomes relative to your original input.
Yes.
which
And
is
then, like
very
moving direction.
yeah, is very
Yeah.
unintuitive.
Yeah, because it flips, and then you're like, if you're holding forward, now you're holding like the opposite direction.
Yeah, like this game would have arguably it might be worse as a whole if they did this, but there is an argument to be made that this game could have benefited from tank controls because that would fix that problem.
I feel like you could have just had like a hug wall button.
I believe I might be misremembering or mixing up one of the different versions of MGS3 that you're able to use like the shoulders or the triggers or
Yeah,
something.
I feel
to-
I feel
to,
like there was a
like,
trigger
go
free
side to side.
in this game, right? Like I don't recall like the bumpers or triggers doing anything.
No, those are open up inventory.
You open up
Yeah.
you open up inventory, but that was with the triggers. But the bumpers.
But the bumpers you do equip, unequip.
oh right,
Dummy.
I never use that. I just go to the thing.
Was that why you took 50 hours in Metal Gear Rex?
I use the stinger and I like it. I never want to let go.
Anyway.
like the individual weapon controls, I feel like suck overall.
Weapon controls.
I only had a problem with the sniper rifle.
The
Sniper rifle
it
sucked.
sucks.
Although, no, I mean, I hated using the pistol just because I don't like
It,
older. Like, I don't know. Is this like an older game
That's-
thing where it's like it just auto aims for you?
Yeah, no, 'cause-
because you can't.
because it's auto aims, right? There's
Yeah.
auto aim.
Yeah.
There's times where I was like, okay, I'm gonna.
Sometimes it doesn't do it.
yes.
Yeah,
it's
sometimes
like,
it doesn't.
it's
You have to like hold it.
Yeah.
And then he decides to like go.
Yeah,
for it.
so that is an issue, but also like my play style of the game, I only shoot during the forced combat sections, and usually for that I'm using the FAMAS,
and just
and I can just
unload.
hold down the button.
I
and
really
yeah.
wish. Let's go into the video a little bit, just because, just to have moments here. I don't think I get into combat really in these early sections, but so I guess maybe then I can talk about, since this is my first. Like, I actually had zero idea of how Metal Gear Solid 1 played or looked like, surprisingly. I knew like the codec calls. I knew like, that's pretty much it. So my first like Metal Gear game was Metal Gear Revengeance, which is not really like, it's not an MGS game.
Yeah, it's not
and
an
then my
MGS
first
game.
MGS game was like Ground Zeroes, and then Phantom Pain. So then when the game started and my fucking view is this, I go, I'm not gonna like this game, 100%. So I don't know. This view, the way this game controls, I guess because of it. Like I don't know if did they not have.
It was just because that's how the first two games were. Also,
Got you. Was the first two games are also 3D?
no.
Okay. So that was a jump. So is this the first like 3D MGS?
Yes, yeah.
So was at any point, do you know if like this wasn't like if there's any like they thought about maybe going like really full 3D and not like top down?
I don't know. Like, I can't say for sure, but there is a first-person option in Integral for beating the game.
Okay. And you play in first person throughout the entire game?
You
Or-
can if you choose that. Yes.
Okay. So can is MGS2 the same as this?
MGS2 is it's
And
very
so,
similar.
but
to this.
MGS3 changes. right?
The re-release of MGS3 changes.
Oh, the re-release. Okay.
The original version was pretty much like this. Also.
Okay. So do you prefer this for an MGS game?
I think there are advantages to this camera. The other like 2 and 3 improve on this style. There are advantages to it, like this posting up against the walls. Although like it doesn't control great in this game.
Yeah.
It does give the feeling of like you're real, like it builds up tension with the camera view and everything shifting of like the guards walking past you, which is part of the enjoyment of like a stealth game.
I would
and
also
forces you to play slower because you can't really see ahead of you that much.
And I think this is just a gripe with.
It didn't make me. I feel like it didn't make me feel. It didn't make me play slower. I ran headfirst into danger.
Yeah,
and then just dealt with the consequences. And now, did you like this? I guess I'm so like. It was such a shock to me because I like stealth games, and again, my previous MG Metal Gear experience was like so different to what this is, and then so when the game started, it was just like, oh no, like what have I got myself into? Yeah, so I guess that's why I'm like, did you have that same feeling, or were you just like you knew? Did you know anything about how it looked and played?
I knew
before going into this.
I knew it was like bird's eye view. I knew that much. That was pretty much it. And overall, this is just like a gripe with the genre because I don't like stealth. I don't like stealth games. I very much like confronting my problems head on, and like just combat. And this game isn't designed around combat. I understand that. And I think, I don't know, just a combination, like, Snake, it just, like, controls kind of sluggish, like, just slow, and, like, it's supposed to be that way, right?
Let's go back to full screen for us just a little bit.
Yeah, it's like, it's supposed to, like, just be a slower game, but I don't like that. I want it to be fast.
So I wanted to... I had this weird feeling that for a stealth game, I actually, in one of my notes, I ended up getting rid of it because I was like, maybe I'm being weird about it. Mm-hmm. It was, I literally put in, I thought this was a stealth game, like towards the end of the game, because I was like, I felt like, just looking back, I was like, I feel like I didn't do a lot of stealthing.
Yeah.
Like it was just like, I understand, you avoid guards and stuff, but because of the radar, it really felt like I was just walking places.
Yeah, that is like my biggest gripe with the game, which there might be a difficulty or something to turn it off or whatever. But
do what?
I think,
the Soliton.
I think Extreme and
it just turns off the Soliton radar.
Yeah, it turns off radar.
Yeah, I think that would be more interesting, but with the.
I think I would have been frustrated if
that's it. With the limitations of like what you could see of
it's too much
perspective. It'd be too much for a first.
Yeah, so I had this thing. I wanted to. I really should have tried to like put it into words. It was like the Soliton radar gives you too much information
Yeah.
for it to be a stealth, or for me to feel like it's like I'm stealthing.
So
but if you got rid of it, you don't get enough for it to be a fun game.
Did you?
Like,
So what did you think of the later sections where it's jammed more often?
I played the same way I played as with the radar. I just ran everywhere. Like I wasn't stealthing, and so, and I felt like it had zero impact on like the what like. I feel like because the only thing I'm thinking about is like when I didn't realize that there was people was the bridge. Like after the when you go down from the helicopter fight.
Yeah.
And then I think it's jammed, right? I think, or at the
Yeah.
very least, you can't see the people.
Yeah, you can't see it from the camera perspective.
So if you walk forward, you're just gonna get shot at. But like, okay, like I died to it, so I'll reload and then I'll snipe them, or I'll rocket launcher them. So like, the times where it was jammed, I ran everywhere with no regard to where the guards were. With the Soliton radar, I ran everywhere, but this time I knew where the guards were. So it
Yeah.
didn't feel like I was stealthing either way.
Yeah, that is definitely the biggest problem with this game. Is like by even like the standards of the series going forward, like the stealthing isn't as interesting.
Okay,
Like limitation of the PS1, right? As you get caught, just like hit a loading screen, and then like okay, you're done. You're not caught anymore.
okay. Well, I'm kind of glad that there was like some merit to my thought there, because it seems like Metal Gear as a series is almost like deified in gamers' TM's minds as like, oh, this is a stealth game, and so that's why I'm like, you know what? I will give it if most of the game was like the first part where you first get into the snow and then you have to sneak into the base or into the tank hangar for the first time, I think I would be like, oh, this is a stealth game, because I thought it was going to be more of that, especially the first time where I'm like in the snow. The first time the guard was like, whose footprints is that? I'm like, oh my God, this is Metal Gear, right? This is like, you have to stealth everywhere. And then it just never happened again. Like the footsteps, the fact that they can see the footsteps in the snow never mattered after the first time.
I think, like a lot of the game, like gameplay wise, is very much carried by the set pieces. Like, just you're doing a different thing.
Yeah.
Which I appreciate when games do that. And for me, it made the game feel like very fast paced. Like, because at least for like compared to a lot of like modern games, they can be like 20 hours, some 100 hours long, and you're just doing the same shit like the entire game. I'm just like, I want to die.
Yeah,
But I also
yeah.
want like an ending. And so I was like, okay, even if this isn't doing like any one thing like amazing, it is trying to do many things, and for me that almost matters more. If it's not, especially like, like given the limitations of the hardware at the time, like in current context, like this is never going to be like play as we expected, like a Splinter Cell or like a later MGS game.
Yeah, no, I will say, I think I like about the design in general is that for the most part, it did feel like there was times where there were like multiple solutions to the problem you had,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
And-
especially if you use like the
you-
gadgets and stuff.
Can you give me one example of in the game where that's the case? Because I'm trying to think, and maybe there was in the moment I had the thought, but I can't think of one right now.
So yeah, obviously like the first part to get into the hangar, like presented with multiple avenues to go in there.
Oh.
Right.
Oh, right. Okay.
I think that's
yeah.
a big one. They're like, so depending on your playthrough, the way you deal with the lasers or the way you deal with the mines, right?
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
I explored the first room. I was like, okay, well, I'll probably need something from here or whatever, and I found the thermal goggles or whatever. And then so the way I dealt with like the lasers to get in that room was to just use the thermal goggles and just walk, because I saw all of them. And then like, oh, I didn't pick up the mine detector. I don't know where the mines are, but like I thought, well, let me put on the thermal goggles, and like, oh, they're all there. Okay, I can just use this to avoid it.
Okay, yeah.
You know, and then but like you didn't find them.
Yeah, I didn't find the thermal goggles until later. So like going through the lasers was the cigarette smoke. So like stuff like that is cool. It's
Yeah.
like just like the unique or sort of the creative use of the items you have that interact with the world.
Something that gets elaborated on in the later.
Yeah.
games.
So like it's just like as a game.
I also like. Yeah, I guess like a lot of it has to do with the expectations of a stealth game
yeah.
in current year, because like
Yes.
like the original Metal Gear games like is like said to be like the first stealth games, which is not technically true. Like
Right.
You go further back, like the original Wolfenstein, not Wolfenstein 3D, but there was a black and white
Yeah,
one
yeah.
that's like a stealth game. But like yeah, I guess like the expectations of what that is, like that just simply the idea that's like you want to avoid combat more than be in combat.
Yeah,
is like
yeah.
enough for
For
people
this
at the
to be a
time,
stealth
yeah.
game, yeah. So like a lot of my, because I really like stealth games. So again, I do have an expectation for what a stealth game is in big 2024. So like going to this game, it is, for it to not be what I expected, it's hard for me to love this game, which is like, I feel like part of me really wants to love this game, but it's just so hard to get there just because of how it plays and my playthrough. It was just very frustrating. There was a lot of frustrating stuff about it because there's so many cool things about this game. It's just hard. It's hard for me to be like, God, this is what a great game and everybody should play it. I think everybody should play it. If you are a gamer, I think you should play a Metal Gear game, at least, one of the older ones. Because it was so influential, right? I think
like this one especially.
Yeah, so it's a thing that I think people should try. If you don't have to finish it. Good Lord, you don't have to finish it, but
Even if you had like no direct contact with Metal Gear, you've heard something from it.
you've heard something 100%. You've come into contact some kind of reference, some kind of gameplay thing that was directly lifted from a Metal Gear game, probably.
It was like so funny. Like I was playing the game, right, and then I was like talking to you guys, and then I fucking heard the Kodak call, and it wasn't from the game. It was like from like the TV that my parents were watching something upstairs.
Yeah.
And it's like, and it haunts me.
If you are a fan of Filipino news channels or like game shows, the fucking MGS like ding, like the sound of alert.
Oh.
They use that like constantly. Like
No, okay, yeah, no. So yeah, since I, obviously not when it came out,
Yeah.
but like, I played this when I was young.
yeah.
And so like, when I hear like YouTubers and shit, because I don't know what fucking YouTube channel my mom watches that they use the alert sound so much. I get like a mini panic attack every time.
Yeah.
It's like the Kira bite. It's the Kira ding ding.
It's Metal Gear is everywhere. So it's nice to really experience it in its original form.
I think that that's something that I guess as a more general thing. I feel like, because like people will say like, oh, there's like movies or like, oh, you have to watch this movie or whatever. Right?
Yeah.
I feel like for video games you don't get that as much.
Uh-huh.
I think a lot of it does have to do with like, it is just like harder to be able to play a lot of old video games, especially if they've never gotten ported to anything.
Yeah.
And it's just like a lot of people just seem to be not as willing to deal with like old game jank, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, I wonder who. Could not be me.
I think it's because as video games, there's a level of like you have to engage with it in like physically. So there is like difficulty. Like games are hard, but like movies and stuff, you can tell someone to be like, "Oh, you should watch this movie," and all they got to do is play it and sit back. So they like the barrier of entry is a lot easier for movies than it is games.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it still doesn't stop people. Remember, like, we have a friend. He legit just will not watch movies that are in black and white for whatever reason.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, definitely, there is still some, like, people have to get over certain hangups for older movies.
But
It's
people
just
will
way
like,
more.
Yeah, but people will watch like Star Wars or whatever.
Yeah.
Like at a certain year, they're just like everyone is seeing a lot of like movies.
For games, it's harder to ask people to like play an older game because, especially if they're a modern gamer, like Ariel and really me too, it's like you don't get some of the luxuries that like modern gaming gives you.
Yeah, I think for me, I'm very tolerant of that sort of thing.
Is it because you grew up with like playing these
that
games?
is definitely
or?
part of it, but also like in like even now, like with games that I'm not too familiar with,
Yeah, okay.
like the Tomb Raider games, like that. There was that collection, which I didn't play them really that often. Like I played like a little bit, a couple of them, but I'm just going like, oh yeah, this is like, I guess this is just how PS1 games were.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like, I wouldn't say like fun, right? But like, it is interesting. That's all. I feel like that's all a game has to be to me. For
It's
me to
interesting.
Yeah, just like if it makes me think about something in a meaningful way, and I was okay, that's good. Like I don't need everything to be like spoon fed to me. I guess.
Gotcha.
I don't mean to be like condescending.
No,
like
modern games do spoon
I
feed
think
you.
I
100%.
think like frustration in this case probably not intended all the time.
Right.
But I do think frustration is a valid experience as part of a game.
Yeah, I can see that. It's just my blood pressure probably shouldn't.
Yeah. I guess when me personally, I think if something's hard is not an issue with me. I just think when things like
When you feel like you're fighting a game.
it's like when things like don't work the way like they're presented as, and like
Part of it is your expectation of how it works.
Yeah. But even then, it's like I guess my expectation how it works, but like I feel like, just mechanically when I'm fighting against something mechanically, it really frustrates me. It's not like designed like I'm just fighting the controls or fighting the game or fighting like a intended mechanic, right? I don't know. I like things to be mechanically sound and mechanically fluid in like just how a game plays.
Let's go back to the video and hopefully there's like gameplay instead of just cutscene. Yeah, there we go.
I'm at
doors. Oh, I think I'm looking for the. Okay, so here's another cool thing that I thought like. Do I think this is cool? It's just like there's certain ways to find out. Like you have to find out where the walls are.
Yeah.
It's cemented, and then you could either look at it visually or you could knock on the walls, and it would sound different. So that was cool.
Did you ever fall for any of the floor traps?
I think also I think that was the first time I saw one because I turned around. I was like, what the fuck? Anyway, I think one near the end where there was a ration over it. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just did it. I didn't mean to slow down, but I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, it's funny that are those actually meant to like get anybody? Because you just run past it and it's fine.
By itself, no, but when the guards are present, like you can be like, cause like if you move like too close to a guard, they'll call attention to you. So depending on like which route you're trying to like walk around the guard, you can fall down. Like those are only times it's really gotten me.
I hated this bitch. I'm sorry. Mailing just showed up. Man, fuck you. One of my notes was I want to shoot whoever made it, like whoever had this bitch just keep yapping every time you save. I hate it. Like whoever made that decision, I'm sorry. I want to shoot you.
In Minecraft. And what if one of the Metal Gear devs?
What am I doing?
I don't know. What are you doing?
This is the end. I was like, I don't want to play anymore because I think I was like stuck, like looking for the wall.
Yeah, but like, I don't like the codec calls like as they're intended to be used.
Okay, I have an issue. So, I think the codec calls are fine for when you call them because of like some sort of barrier of gameplay or whatever. It's when I'm in the middle of something, and then they just call me, and like I'm playing the game, but they call me for like some exposition or some trauma dump. I'm gonna read out what I say on this.
You see, that one's the one I don't mind because just like, okay.
No, because I'm in the middle of something. What is it? I said, why are these calls so interrupting? And it's either stupid exposition, trauma dumps, or techno babble. There's like no one in the squad talking to each other unless Snake is involved.
Like that is just like, yeah, Kojima is unfortunate.
Yeah.
He never gets much better at that.
Right.
If anything, the techno babble exposition just becomes more elaborate as it goes on.
Yeah.
God enough. Yeah, but like the way they're like intended to use in gameplay is like, oh, you're stuck at a part. Here, call us, and then we'll tell you, or like either like the amount of help you get is I guess varies from one of them. Sometimes they'll just tell you exactly what
you need to do. Yeah.
and then some of them like allude what to do, and yeah, I don't like that because like I personally, because I like it I guess in more organic ways. Like I was like the Vulcan fight, right? Like I knew what the Nikita does, right?
Yeah.
I forgot about it. Like up to that point, it was like, oh, they give you Nikita ammo. It's like, oh, I'm supposed to use Nikita, and they give me C4. It's like, oh, I'm supposed to like, oh yeah, I can use C4 here. Like they're telling me like through the gameplay what strategies will work, and it's like, and then through with that, it's like, oh, I have claymores. I never use claymores at all at any point of the rest of the game, but. That would be better than C4s because he just has to walk over it and just get damaged. So I just like set a whole bunch of claymores throughout the intersections, and I was like, oh, cool. Like this was like how I just would want the rest of the game like to be, right? Like it's just something more through gameplay.
Well,
to tell me, like
there's only one specific instance where a codec call does tell you because I feel like you could just figure stuff out.
Yeah.
If you were more aware of the items you had, or it could like certain uses of it. Like you don't have to call people.
Stupid.
I know that, but no. Here's the thing: you have a problem with the codec calls handing you the information, but you want the game to hand you the information.
Yes,
because you're stupid. Like so I'm sorry. I don't understand your criticism because you want information handed to you, but just in a different form. Whereas if you actually had what you were saying, where you were just through your own intuition, you would have never had to use the codec calls.
I think like I was like, yeah, because I think I would rather the game just flat out tell me in a very immersive breaking text, hey, this is what to do.
Is that not what the codec calls
That's
are?
what they
That's literally
break the
immersive
fourth
breaking
wall.
text.
Yeah, I guess I didn't get that at the first time, and I was very frustrated with certain aspects of the game. And it's like, oh, you're supposed to call it. I want it a step removed. Just
So you
tell
want
me.
them? You want what the thing Angelo hates, where they just call
Yes,
you?
I would rather prefer that. It's
I
like
hate-
I'm
no,
having
no, no,
trouble.
no,
They
no,
call
I hate
me. It's like, oh, this is what you do. Oh, thank you. I'm stupid.
At the very least, I like the fact that you kind of have to call because there is agency in your actions to be like, okay, I'm stuck. Yo, you have a whole team, you have a whole like operations team with you, so they are able to help you, and that's fine enough for me. But at the same time, I think this game does do a good enough job of, like you said, it does give you Nikita ammo and C4 and stuff in the places where it'd be helpful. It gives you sniper ammo when in the places it would be helpful, right? It gives you
Ariel pointed
Stuff.
out, like at the same fight, the Vulcan fight, Ariel pointed out like the claymores before.
yeah.
That like the game doesn't tell you to use it, or like the game doesn't really tell you that they're there unless
Yeah.
you're using the mine detector.
Yeah.
But like, oh, it's placed there so that way you can use it for the fight.
Yeah, I think like for the most part, and the only thing that I'm thinking about where I feel like it's the codec call that tells you exactly is the Psycho Mantis fight.
Yeah.
Because I don't think anybody would be like, oh yeah, use the second port. And nothing in the game ever really tells you that unless it's the codec call.
Yeah.
But I think everything else, I think it's a bit of an unfair criticism on your part because I think you would just want a different form of information handing
Yeah.
than but that's not a fault of the game. I think that's just for whatever reason You want the game to like glaze you, or either treat you like you're an idiot, or make you feel like you're actually figuring something out. When in reality, it's literally handing you the information by giving you the ammo that you're supposed to use.
Yeah,
like that's what it seems like that you want.
Yeah, no, it's like I didn't quite like once I figured that out, it's like, oh, okay, I'm just like supposed to call if I get stuck, and then like it was really just a frustration in like the early game. It's just because. I would just not like I guess not a thing I experienced before. My favorite games are very straightforward. I would say that like the games I like, the goals are very much like not complicated.
I don't think any part of this game is complicated.
Right, but Kenji, I'm stupid.
I think it's just not complicated, but like they tell you what you have to do, and then it's just you have to figure it out. And if you're not stupid, that's what the code. If you are stupid, that's what the protocols are there for, which you have a problem with, because I think it's like the game is almost you. I feel like Ariel, maybe put your ego aside. I think you're upset because the game is telling you to admit you're stupid and then use the in-game help button.
No,
really. That's not the problem.
No, I didn't like. I don't like. I'm fine with being like the game treating me like a child, right?
So what's the? There's a little baby button saying literally you're asking your team to tell you what to do. I think we're spending too much time on this topic, but like I feel like the criticism is a little unfair. There's a lot of things you can criticize this game for.
That's fair. I don't know. I don't like. I guess the way. These codecs are.
I do want to say that the codex I think is like my favorite part of Metal Gear. Like there are like a lot of games where like the protagonist is supposed to be like some part of a team or something. Yeah. But it never really feels like it because you don't really interact with those characters, and especially in a lot of other games. Like there are characters that exist. Like I like to say, like these characters exist only in cutscene land.
Yeah.
In which technically these characters do, but they are helping you with the actual gameplay part of the game.
I can see why. I think generally I do like the codec calls, but it is a little for me. It's like I understand why, right? It's like how else do you have a solo infiltration mission, but with interesting and compelling characters, right? Like, but so like they have to trauma dump on Snake in the middle of a fucking
infiltration
mission. You know what I mean?
I'm not gonna defend that. Like that is like kind of.
I get why, because it's a game and you have to like it's a story that's trying to be told, and you can't have like a base like a hub area for Snake to go back to and talk to his comrades. Like it has to be through codec calls, but it does feel a little weird. So that's my only gripe with it. And it's to me it's a little interrupting sometimes. The one thing I'm talking about is when you are fucking with the keys and you're on your way back, and all I'm thinking about is I kind of want this game to be over, and I'm just like, let me get back to Metal Gear Rex to input this final key, and then fucking Naomi calls you and is like, by the way, I didn't know who my dad was, and that's why I got into jeans, and I'm like, shut up. Anyway. That's why I had that. So even that's what inspired my note of like it just feels so interrupting. And like I don't care about the exposition, and I don't care about the trauma dump. I have to save the world.
Yeah, narratively, I like codecs as a narrative device.
The contents, I like the narrative contents of the codec calls.
Pacing could be
the content of the calls are cool and they're fine, but it's like where they're placed sometimes can be a little jarring and like a bit too much. Anyway, that's codec calls, everybody. This game, you know what? This crazy. I still feel like we still have so much more to talk about this game. I think it really goes to show this. There's a lot of depth to this game. And I think that's great, but yeah. Oh, this is going into the Ocelot.
I brought it up because like I saw wall and I think explosions. Like I got grenades. Like I can use grenades. I throw a grenade. It didn't blow up the wall. I had to use C4.
Yeah, because a plastic explosive and a grenade are very different things.
I just thought explosion to the wall. And like I forgot, and also I forgot about chaff grenades too. There's a lot of things like I forget about. I think this is like a me thing. I can admit to that. Boss fights.
Boss fights.
They're not
oh boy.
great.
The combat, I think it just goes to the general point of the combat in this game isn't great.
Yeah,
It's just-
that's always like a gripe with, I guess, stealth games in general.
Yeah.
Is like
Well,
they want to
Yeah.
have like these sort of like big action sequences, which
yeah.
does not only like fight against the main point of the game,
Yeah.
but also a lot of stealth games combats are not amazing.
Yeah.
I guess the ones that like focus on like avoiding the enemy, right?
Yeah,
Because there's some stealth games where like the stealth is worked into the combat, but I guess maybe you wouldn't call that a stealth game.
I mean, there's like different kinds of stuff, like Splinter Cell Conviction, which a lot of people in that community hate because
Yeah.
there is no non-lethal option.
Yeah.
But it's like that's still a stealth game. It's just like a
You're just killing everyone.
yeah.
Killing everyone.
Like and also Hitman's like where you're supposed to like
You kill. Yeah, I mean that's still
I
a
think
stealth. That's another different kind of stealth. game,
yeah, it's like I don't know why. I guess the only thing of like I can think of in terms of like a stealth game with bosses is Deus Ex. I think specifically like Human Revolution and
Yeah.
Mankind Divided. But I think, and it's been a while since I played, so I'm probably misremembering. But I'm fairly sure there's well, I'm not gonna say all because I think there's one specifically. I'm thinking, oh,
What was that?
did you? I think I just ran into, like, I didn't go, like, I wanted to, like, cut the corner.
oh, I thought you were getting that dastardly placed SOCOM ammo.
No, maybe, I don't know. But anyway, yeah, so Deus Ex. I think there's, like, a few bosses where you are able to handle them in, like, a stealthy way.
Yeah.
Or, like, sabotage them to make the fight easier or whatever. But these ones is just like, you have to fight. Like we want to showcase our amazing combat, which is not great.
You also forgot about the chaff grenades.
I think it's
No, I didn't,
that camera is placed in a bullshit
yeah,
spot.
I didn't forget about the chaff grenades.
But you went back in there.
Well, because I thought I could sneak in.
Okay.
Like I was like, whatchamacallit? This is the first room that you cannot sneak past the security cameras.
Yeah.
Like for before this, the whole time you were able to sneak past security cameras. Anywho,
Oh, and you know what? I never went back there after I got the key cards.
I think you know what? I don't think I did. I
did
went back
not-
to
I
the
did not do that.
armory, but not. I don't think this specific spot.
I wonder what was in there. Anyways.
Probably nothing great. I mean, it was early on, or whatever. Boss fights.
I'm
Boss
not.
fights.
in this game.
Yeah, I'm not much a fan of forced combat sections and stealth games at all.
Yeah.
This one with especially like how bad the combat can get. Like it's not amazing. I can appreciate what they're trying to do because I like I was saying earlier I do
Oh
like
my
when
god!
games,
Wait a minute. Do I throw a grenade at homie? I think I tried to. Or oh man. Okay. Oh okay. I did try. I think I did try the stun.
I also tried to stun. I figured that would stun him.
It does not, right?
I don't think
It's
so.
just.
And just Ocelot is him.
I love to reload.
I love it.
I can appreciate what they're going for. Like I was saying earlier, I like when games try to do different things.
Yeah.
Like you shouldn't just be doing the same thing the whole time.
Yeah.
I don't like the actual boss fights themselves, but I do like how you do sort of get to know like each of the bosses throughout the fight and like the dialogue leading up to the fight.
In the dialogue after the fight.
And the dialogue after the fight. That's something
Three dialogues.
that I do like about it though.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I can appreciate like how not like all the boss fights like kind of emphasize on like one of the weapons that you get.
I think I'm contemplating whether or not I want to continue because I'm literally just staring at the game over.
Like, yeah, the first one you only have like the soak. So, is there a way to miss the pistol? Because
Oh shit! I didn't even think about that. Can you miss the pistol? Where do you find it? I forgot.
There was
I found it in like a truck bed in like the going into
so
the thing.
there is a way to enter the base without the pistol, and there's a dialogue. There's actually a hidden dialogue about it between the guards, or they'll mention where it is.
Wait, so can you get to this fight without the pistol? What
I
happens?
don't know.
Oh
Damn.
You know what? There probably was a SOCOM in that room in the armory.
Probably.
So like it would just be there if you didn't grab it.
Yeah, I'm sure they thought about it, or they would just tell you to go fucking get it.
Yeah, it's like Snake. You need a weapon. There's
Snake,
an army.
are you fucking stupid?
Revolver. Yeah, because you're bound to probably get it in there. I'm just trying to think because I guess there's no real like way to soft lock yourself out of like a fight because you know the ammo is infinitely responding, right? Or at least to a certain extent.
They usually give you enough, or if it secretly respawns somehow.
So sometimes I have a problem with like older games with like jank controls. Is like the problem is like it seems like what I'm doing is not correct, like because of how jank it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like in this fight, I was like, am I really just supposed to? Like it feels like I'm doing something wrong. Like I'm not figuring the fight out, and I feel like I'm brute forcing it. But like no, this is like you actually just have to wait and like shoot and shoot in at a weird angle and play ring around the rosy with him because that's just what happened there.
You blew up a C4.
Oh.
But it did so much damage to him, Kenji.
Oh, I placed C4. Yeah, I did have a. I was like, oh, maybe I can catch him off guard, and I was like, right.
I'm
okay.
sure
Like
he was
that.
very surprised when you just killed yourself.
Along with Baker and. Anyway,
Yeah, no. In this fight, I did figure it out a bit because you can just like shoot him, and then he's gonna be stunned a bit, and you can run at him, right?
Oh, and punch him? I didn't.
No,
No,
not
just keep
punch him. He
shooting.
runs over, he starts running
yeah.
away, but as he's running away, you can take a shot at him and
Yeah,
hit him for 2.
Yeah.
And like I did that a couple times.
Sorry. Whenever you die, I don't know if it's like every boss fight, but a good amount. I had this thought. It takes forever, like to like the reset. I feel like the one thing I'm thinking about is also like Psycho Mantis. If you die in Psycho Mantis, you are ported back to before you enter the hallway, and every cutscene that happens with Meryl happens all the time.
Yeah.
So it takes a long time to even get back into the fight, and then you fuck up the fight. Like I almost wasn't really dreading the fight. I was dreading losing the fight and having to go through the long setup again. It just took way too damn long.
Yeah, it's variable. I feel right because like Vulcan, like you lose the Vulcan fight, it's like right at the elevator.
Well, I never lost the Vulcan fight.
I lost the Vulcan fight. Well, I never lost the Psycho Mantis fight. I don't know what you're talking about.
You're lying.
I didn't. I first tried it. Honest to God.
You're lying. You don't have recorded footage. I'm the only one who records footage for this fucking podcast.
It's true.
You are lying. Installers, Ariel is lying.
No, I first
did not first try. No shot.
I first tried Psycho Mantis.
No.
Like
It's impossible.
I shot him dead. What were we talking about? Oh, it's
boss fights.
Getting
Really,
into the boss fight.
Yeah. And like restarting. And
I
stuff
feel
like
like
that. Not all of it is like stupid.
like Sniper Wolf was fine. I guess the first one. I also first tried the
the first one. The first Sniper Wolf was okay because it's just the previous room. Same thing with the helicopter fight. It was just the room before the boss
Second
fight.
Sniper Wolf was also like just the entrance to the.
I first tried that. So
I
I
also
don't know.
first tried that.
That one I died a lot for some like I think that was the one I had the most trouble with. Was
Wow, really?
yeah, because I was
I cheated, quote unquote. Like I used the missiles.
yeah, no, I tried to, but I just
Oh, really?
yeah.
Did you know that And this is where I found out. I think in the Sniper Wolf, the second Sniper Wolf fight was
Oh wow, you got him there.
you could go first person in the missiles. Did you know that?
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, if you're in the missile, that's like you're directing it. If you hold triangle, you're in first person, and not only that, it highlights the enemy.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, like
The
it
fuck?
just yeah.
That would that useful in the Vulcan fight?
Oh yeah, I did that for the Vulcan fight sometimes. Yeah.
I don't know how useful that would be in the Vulcan fight.
No, yeah, I for the most part, I just like because it's a grid.
Yeah.
It's a grid, so it's like you
Yeah,
just kind of
like the only issue with the Vulcan fight is you're hitting him while he's not reloading. That's crazy.
yeah, because I'm good.
The only issue with the Vulcan fight was that the camera was or the radar wasn't centered on the Nikita. It was just like
Well,
where
I think
Snake
I think
was.
I think I guess that's the challenge of it
Yeah.
because it's like the Soliton radar is for Snake, not
Yeah.
the thing.
Yeah, that was like I lost track of the Nikita a couple times. It's fine because I put C4s and just walked into them.
I mean the
Yeah, the mines, the claymores, whatever.
a few times I hit him with a few times with that.
It's funny, like we all had like different fights that were just bad for us.
Yeah, I find with my prior
Can I? Yeah, go ahead.
experiences with this game, I find the fights to be very inconsistent. Like I feel like I'm
In terms
doing,
of difficulty, or
yeah, like I
okay.
feel like I'm doing the same thing on the same boss and having very different results each time.
Oh, okay. But that was. Do you have a favorite boss fight?
My favorite boss fight
Also, do you?
probably Psycho Mantis, but not for the fight itself, but for the thing.
Okay,
Yeah,
let's just say for the fight, like
For the fight?
yeah. Do you have a fight that's like, oh man, this was fun?
Probably the helicopter fight.
Okay,
The
interesting.
helicopter fight was alright.
Yeah, that was okay.
I'm
What about you?
I've been saying I hate Rex. My favorite. No, you see, I kind of want to say Rex because that's just the fight that I'm the most familiar, I guess, most intimate about.
Because it took you forever.
Yeah, it took me like over like an hour to beat him.
I did it pretty quickly.
And like, yeah, I recognize the patterns. I knew what to do.
You just didn't. Your resources were severely lacking.
Yeah, and like, oh my god, I honestly forgot there was a
I
fucking
do.
boss fight.
I do like the Gray Fox fight. I just think
Fox.
his health is way too.
Oh,
big.
it's a lot.
Yeah,
He's
'cause,
so
yeah,
spongy.
Is he supposed to like punch him, right?
Yeah.
So I wanted to mention this. I guess maybe this is going into like more writing stuff, but that one wasn't supernatural. But like even the Psycho Mantis, I really like games where it's like military, like spec ops shit, but like with a dash of supernatural.
Yeah.
So the MGS sort of mythos, like you know,
there's a lot of.
it's like there's like pseudoscience and then there's like supernatural stuff and like a lot of it is like that stuff is cool to me. So I actually really like, you know, the world and the mythology and whatever. Although I guess it's never really explained, huh? Is it or no?
She's just
Yeah, I know. That's I don't know. I don't know what to make of that.
Okay, if you go forward with the MGS series, you'll find out you don't want to explain. You really don't want it explained.
Okay.
Yeah, there's been many times Kenji's like tried to explain it. What's Revolver Ocelot's power? What?
Have you ever tried to reload a single action army that fast, Ariel? I want to see you do that shit.
Okay, maybe. Well, anyway. God, that might look painful. Like I don't know.
It's the worst thing you could ever imagine.
Okay, well, either way, as of my own limited knowledge right now, I really like what it is, right? It's like supernatural, probably, maybe. I don't know if it's explained away, whatever. I don't know. I guess we can go back to my notes.
I guess to finish the boss fight discussion, Metal Gear Rex, I feel it would be my favorite if the checkpointing wasn't so egregious. Because if you die
wait,
on
wait,
that second phase,
Wait, yes. No, sorry. Oh my
you
god. I
have
don't know
to
why.
fucking sit through the Gray Fox thing every time. I'm like, oh.
No,
holy
okay,
shit.
so I was really frustrated. Like, I really, really wanted the game to end. So when I got to Metal Gear Rex, I got to. I think so. Like, I didn't. I think I was able to do the first phase, first try, and I thought that was it. I thought like, oh my god, we did it. And then Gray Fox happens and whatever, and then the fucking moment where the game goes back to like fake gameplay, and you have the stupid stinger out, and the thing locks on, and you can hit square, and the whole time Snake is just like, I can't do this, because Gray Fox is there, because he is like, Snake doesn't want to kill Gray Fox, and then the second phase starts in the second health. I wanted to close the game, like, actually, because I had like I used up all my I was very blasé about my rations in the first phase. I didn't realize there was gonna be a second phase. I don't like the fact that the game faked me out, and because I don't have the same feeling that Snake had for Gray Fox. Let me shoot the fucker. If not, don't let me even have control. I really, 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 really hated that part. What?
I was gonna say, I think.
You're saying is I should have made you play Metal Gear 1 and 2 so you'd have emotional attachment.
I don't get, like, I hated the fact that it was like, oh, gameplay, and it seems like I even thought like maybe there was a choice, like maybe you could shoot and then that leads somewhere, and then if you don't shoot, that leads somewhere. The fact that the stupid game lets you aim and you could even hit square, I'm choosing to hit square, and Snake is just, I can't do this, I can't shoot him. Like, stop. I don't give a fuck. Like, shoot the guy and Gray Fox still dies. Anyway, I was like, I had to walk away. I had to put down my controller and walk away when the second fight started, and I was just running around and I died, and then the fucking fight restarted back in phase 1. It's frustrating. Frustrating.
You know, as much as I was frustrated with like the Rex fight in general, I think
Let's see.
it's just a checkpoint game.
Let's skip to the Rex fight. We keep talking about like certain parts of the game and it just does it. Okay,
That was, like, right on it.
Perfect. I don't know.
What is with
I
that
don't
frame
know.
rate?
I think that's definitely the video or like the hard drive.
Did you guys get like they probably? But I was gonna ask, did you guys get like some certain like hiccups in this game?
No. Wait, what happened?
Oh no, it's just like sometimes it was like poop, and it would just get like the FPS would just get like very slow sometimes.
Oh,
in
no.
cutscenes.
No.
I see. Anyways,
Wait, is
think-
it video? Is this video okay?
Uh,
Oh, whatever. I think it'll smooth out probably.
oh,
hopefully.
look at this
Although,
guy having like 3 chaff grenades.
I never really need. Again, you can those 3 chaff grenades. You can easily do the first phase, and you don't need chaff. I didn't need chaff grenades in the second phase.
I didn't need chaff grenades in the first phase. I just figured that like it can't aim close to that good, so
So why didn't you go close in the second phase?
Because I get lasered. I would always
You
get
can go
lasered.
behind him. That's why you go past him, behind the legs.
I didn't think about that. I was just
Good lord! Why is it like this?
I never got close enough where the laser was a problem.
Yeah, no, I got lasered.
Wait, so would you? Because I pretty much finished the second phase with almost full health. Because he didn't attack me once. Like, he didn't hit me once.
I came in the arena with full health and full rations,
Uh-huh.
so I was able to kind of face tank
Oh.
the last phase. Like, I was still spamming chaff grenades to avoid the missiles, but like
Yeah.
I would like to face tank.
Yeah, no, I'm hoping this thing smooths out.
Yeah, I'm not
Because I don't want to, like, ask you to put the file on your computer, but
Like,
like,
I think we just have to do that.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is hopefully. Let's see, where is it? Is it Seagate?
yeah.
The liquid fight, that was a fight.
Yeah, it was all right.
okay.
Where's the third? I'm gonna scroll. Let me see.
Kojima has recreated the liquid fight so many times, in
Was it
different series even.
Was it with Liquid?
Oh wow.
No,
Wow.
no, but like, but it gets more fighting game like every single time.
It's just like like two men punching each other.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
yeah.
Liquid legit did a fucking Tekken Rising attack.
Like
I don't think I saw that.
spoilers for Death Stranding.
I didn't see that one.
Spoilers for Death Stranding. There is a boss fight where the camera goes
To 2D.
to 2D.
Wow.
And health bars show up on you in the boss fight, and you straight up just have a fist fight.
So going back to protocols, it's great if you don't skip past them, but so skipping through dialogue in protocols makes it hard to track who's talking.
Yeah.
There's no names or anything. So if you're just
it is just reliant on you like playing it and like listening to it in real time.
I think it's dumb.
Yeah,
like because like sometimes maybe you're calling for advice or whatever, but then and so you just kind of want to get to the advice part, but then someone else maybe they say something interesting and you're like, wait, who's saying this? And so you can't. And here's the thing. You can't you can't like just hit continue.
Yeah.
So you can't be like, okay, we're at this dialogue, just play it the rest. It's you are stuck in the sort of everyone is mute world in the protocol.
Does it still switch? Does it still do the? Does it still switch to character portraits? It does, right?
Yeah, but they don't move.
They don't talk like
Yeah.
they don't like
So there's no
lip
real
syncing.
indication of who's talking. It's just you kind of have to read what's on the thing and like discern like who this
Yeah.
applies to.
Having like at least like maybe the portrait like highlight or something would have helped.
So yeah, that's Codex. I mean, Codex is cool. I like them, but yeah, definitely maybe some
Yeah,
oversights.
I guess going back to the Liquid fight, there was just one part I didn't like about it because it was mostly straightforward, right? So a part I got kind of frustrated. It wasn't that bad, but if you just punch him once, and there's like at least I got him to only to ever punch him once a couple times, right?
Mhm.
He gets invul, and then he punches you back for free. And that's just an issue I had at that fight.
So there's been a few times where I punch him once, but I have enough time to move out of the way of the.
Yeah, because like my issue was that I'm not trying to punch him once. I'm trying to punch him like 3 times.
Oh, okay.
So I'm trying to do the combo, but the first punch hits.
I think
The second one whiffs, and then he gets invul in time for the kick.
I think
you're just not spaced closely.
Yes.
I think that's a skill issue
I think it is too.
because I don't
played
think
Brawl.
I
It's the
had,
same. It's the same target combo.
Oh my god!
I don't think I had that problem because, again, I was aware of like, okay, if you're not spaced correctly, if you don't get the second hit soon after the first one, you're just shit out of luck. So I don't even go for it. So you just move out the way, and you could like reliably move out from his like counter.
Because I knew like if I just punch once, like and I just move, like I would avoid it. But like I swear there's just times like okay, I should be. It's either the controls itself like kind of finicky, like just moving to like fight like that. And it's like okay, well I'm going to the spot where I'm supposed to be, and again it's like I just had that issue. I just punch, and then the second one would whiff, and then I'd be in kick land, and I.
That's crazy that like a good 30% of that your mic was away from your mouth.
My fault, bro. I'm going through something right now. Okay, I'm good.
Yeah, skill issue. I think. I mean, I don't like the fight. I think the fight's kind of dumb.
I think it was fine.
But,
I think it was inoffensive.
Inoffensive, but I was tired. So I guess for
I
context,
wanted the game to end by then. So
yeah, I just wanted the game to end, and also I just finished this game today, or
Like a few hours.
a few
before
hours ago.
recording.
Yeah.
So, Kendry, this is just for us, but is this where like Wooly got the mixed up with the Dante Virgil fight that they're both
Possibly.
shirtless?
Possibly. I don't know how. I don't know how familiar he is with Metal Gear, but that is a possibility.
Anyway.
Yeah, I think.
It might have been MGS4 actually.
Oh, okay. But I think that kind of just rounds up all of gameplay. I feel.
Dave is a weird fucking name for him.
I think David is fine.
No, David is fine, but when Meryl goes, so Dave, right? I said no, because what are you at fucking Wendy's or something? What the fuck? No, I don't know. Like David is fine, but like Dave, why are you calling Snake Dave?
Oh, I
They're
wonder.
casual. They've been through a lot together.
It's been like canonically like what?
I don't mean time wise. I just mean like the amount of
it's
shared trauma.
like trauma bonding. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's like what 12 hours or whatever.
Funnily enough, that was like about as long as my gameplay, as my game hours, whatever.
Oh, like looking into because like there. So spoilers. There's two endings for this game.
Yeah.
One, if you fail to resist Ocelot's torture, Meryl dies. I don't know why. I tried to look into it. And if you do resist Ocelot's torture, Meryl doesn't die.
So what happens in the Meryl dies? Because I did got the Meryl was alive.
I don't know.
I don't
You don't
know.
know?
We all got it, and this I want this. It prompted me to look it up. And it's like okay, like what the other ending, and I got
Is Snake just alone?
No, it's
it's
Otacon.
It's Otacon at the end. It's Otacon.
Oh, that's.
And you have your sick bromance.
Wait. Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, just like I'm assuming it goes through the ending set piece with Otacon instead of Meryl, right?
I think so because I don't know. I never played.
Does
that,
Liquid-
but they're on the jet ski together
hold
or
on.
the snowmobile together.
Does Liquid still say that? Oh, you could have a few moments of loving.
I
or
hope
whatever?
so.
Oh,
There's
my
a large
God.
portion of the community that I'm sure they would have preferred that.
Oh my God.
But anyways, it prompted me
That's so
this to
funny.
look this up, and apparently like this and like the gamer FAQs in 2008, 2004, like between that era.
Yeah.
like, people were just like, hey, can you actually like beat the Ocelot torture thing without using like Tobra mode?
Oh wow.
Yeah, like there's like a couple of FAQs like, oh yeah, you can do it, and like you get the Meryl ending, and it's like people you just could not mash back in the day apparently.
Or was this what frame rate was this at when it was on the PS1?
Probably unstable 30.
Oh, okay. So like, do you think that affects the mashing?
It might. I don't know.
Where it makes it hard?
Possibly. I don't know.
That might be like it might be it was just harder.
Yeah, it might have been harder on original.
Yeah, because of the frame rate.
Uh,
But I mean, yeah. I mean, I had a few issues with the mashing, mainly because I'm on a DualSense, and so the fucking touchpad. So the touchpad is select, and it's so big compared to an actual select button. So like, if I'm holding, like I would hold it like you don't have a controller.
you did
right?
the swipe mash, right?
Yeah.
I have.
After like the shock ends, you can
Great
get
for our audio listeners for this.
We have no
visual
audio.
demonstration.
I would hold it like this.
Oh, yeah,
Right, and I
like
would I would-
press the button near the mic.
Huh?
Just press it near the mic, the buttons, so you can hear it. Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Anyway.
not picking up on the.
Yeah, probably not. So I'm holding it like I'm like I would hold it like this, like try to avoid the touchpad. So and then I'm like this, and I'm like trying to rub to stimulate the clitoris. Anyway, to
What the fuck is wrong with you?
to button mash, and because I'm holding it like this, sometimes my finger would touch the touchpad, and this is the surrender button.
You should
Right, the surrender button is technically supposed to be select, but this button is no longer select.
They're both so. Or when I played the both of them, were
Well,
select
no, I'm
for
just
some
talking about
reason.
on the DualShock. Like, it's no longer start and select.
Yeah.
it's menu and then the share button. Anyway, this is a very big select button. Is my big thing, and I've surrendered, and there are many of my own personal timelines that I created where Meryl has died. So yeah. Anyway, that's why.
you should have gone with the Ocelot ending.
Well,
got
I didn't know.
You get the better thing at the end. You get the stealth camo.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh wow, I didn't.
Yeah, because
Because I didn't even realize. So the bandana you get is what fucking Meryl pulls out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even
It's
realize.
okay. It's okay though because the bandana's canon.
yeah,
Okay, well-
yeah, it's like we play through again. You get infinite ammo. Like how much that helps.
You could shoot Metal Gear Rex so many times.
Infinite ammo for all guns.
I guess.
I guess,
I
yeah.
never
Oh,
used
okay.
it.
Do you still have to reload?
I don't know.
I would find. I guess it'd be more useful if you just didn't have to reload anymore.
Is the file up?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see if we can replace our. What is this? Oh, this is me. Going
Did you have to go into the boiler room for the hot one, or could you just done it in like anywhere in the furnace?
I just went to the furnace.
Oh, okay.
Like-
I went in
first room.
here
I
into the
went in here.
Steam. Yeah, I don't know. Do we want to scrape through and just like see if we can't find
Wait.
points to talk about?
Did you fall in the lava here?
Yeah, if we manage to find it, there's a one point where I fall into the lava and I quit.
Was it trying? Was it trying to get the ration?
Yes.
I think all of us fell. For
Yeah,
that.
all of us did.
So I think
I literally laughed when it happened.
no. So if you could see the clips. The clip length, like I have some that's like an hour long. I have some that's 3 hours long. I start my recording, and then like 2 minutes later that happens, and I end the recording because I'm like no, because I can only take so much of MGS's bullshit in a single day, and so that was the start and the end. So yes, okay. So this is going into the Vulcan Raven fight, probably like going down. I think looking back, like I probably look at some of the frustrating moments fondly, but good Lord, please do not ask me to play this game again. I don't know.
I will never play this game again.
I would have to be paid to play this game. If I'm assuming you're gonna tell us to play more entries, I think I'd be willing.
Eventually.
I'd be willing to play the other entries, just because maybe I have hope that like okay maybe gets like that my gameplay gripes maybe is addressed maybe, but this specific game, it would be you would have to be very convincing for whatever reason, like why I would ever I've experienced this game. I'm glad I experienced this game. I think it's a good thing to experience if you're a gamer. But yeah, I'm wiping my hands clear of this game.
I remember I saw Deep Throat and I laughed.
Oh, wait. You last?
I laughed.
Well, that was actually,
Also, wait,
that was the
crazy.
real name.
Yeah,
That was
I
the real
know.
name.
I
Oh,
know.
okay, wait.
Also, I was gonna ask. I didn't have that many codec entries in mine.
What?
Yeah,
You didn't have this many?
like the when you hit down on the thing to show like the full list.
Yeah.
Like I think I was missing one.
Meryl?
No, Meryl's there.
Otacon?
No, it was there too.
The weapons lady, Natasha.
Oh,
yeah.
you never called Natasha.
I did not know this was a person.
Yeah, no, Campbell tells you, or someone tells you to go
Yeah,
talk
someone
to
tells
her.
you her codec
Yeah.
number.
But like you have to call her first for the memory.
Yeah, I just never called her.
Skill
What
share.
did she say?
Nothing.
It's
Really?
mostly just like
Like
general facts
Yeah,
about
general
like,
facts about the items you have, I think.
Yeah.
Like she was the one who was like, "Oh, if you have cigarettes, you can see the lasers."
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I didn't use that.
So do you want to get into story then?
Yeah.
Oh my god, we're an hour and 30 into this.
Yeah, this is gonna be a long one.
I
Story.
mean, it's great. I'm glad this is a long one. This is a game that I think is worth talking about.
Overall, I think
Story.
again. I think
Hold on. Sorry, I'm sorry. But before we get into the actual writing, why do you keep doing so much? These forced combat stuff.
It's not. Oh, okay. So
Not even like boss fights. Just these like ambushes is so dumb to me. Because like there's no way to reliably avoid damage.
yeah.
So you just have to tank it. Also, can we make sure that we're in the right scene?
yeah. We are.
We are. Okay.
Yeah,
Anyway,
the way I
yeah.
handled this section was really funny. I think
What'd you
Ariel
do?
did something similar.
Really?
I placed C4 underground.
Did I? No, I didn't. I just
like before you.
No, like
Oh,
while they were
really?
there. So I tanked some damage. I put C4, and the explosion knocks him off of the platform.
Oh, okay. I didn't do C4.
What'd you do?
I threw grenades. Like they were like two grouped up, and I threw grenades, and like yeah, some of them like fell off.
Maybe I should. I don't know. I had a thought about grenades, but I was like, they're
Yeah,
kind
because
of
like
moving. So.
Master Miller's advice is complete bullshit.
What does he say?
Just like like stay mobile and wait for an opening. I'm just like that's
From
not.
the people shooting at you?
Yeah, I'm like that's not
Oh,
helpful.
no, that's
at all.
actually Liquid just trying to kill you. Like, what the fuck?
No, I get that is a good way to headcanon.
He's like, hey, wait a minute. What are you? He's trying to give me some bullshit advice. Anyway,
It's the big spoiler. Like,
Master Miller is Liquid.
Oh my
oh
god.
my god!
Okay.
I didn't know that, and like,
Okay, so before we talk about the actual story, I wanted to talk about the thing.
are
I
you
thought,
letting this?
yeah,
go?
because I was annoyed. I was annoyed. So anyway, usually in like older games, especially older Japanese games which have an English cast, typically the voice acting or the acting in general is really bad. So I'm actually I really so even with the writing itself can be kind of corny and a little bit too dramatic, but I think the acting from like everybody was like actually really good.
Yeah.
Which I think is obvious. Obviously, I think Kojima, I think intended for it to be a really well acted piece of media.
Yeah, I can't.
He's like a movie guy, right? So.
Yeah, I can't speak for what he thinks of the English dub because he didn't work on the dub.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Oh,
yeah, no, that was.
but yeah, the voice director did a very good job with.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay. Yeah, I kind of thought he would have, because he's like a Hollywood.
Kojima
person.
never took interest in the English dub until 5.
That's interesting. Okay. Well, regardless of Kojima's involvement, stop laughing at me. The stupid minds. This is what the fucking thing is jammed, so you can't even. Anyway.
Again, I if you had the thermal,
I had the thermal goggles. I didn't even think to use it. Anyway, the voice acting, like the actual acting itself, there's only a few moments where it was like, ooh, that was maybe kind of rough, but it's really well acted, regardless of the quality of the writing. Everyone was like was really fucking good.
Yeah.
Like Snake, Campbell, like Naomi.
Naomi.
Meryl could be kind of hit or miss sometimes, but it's like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's like because of the acting or it's like Meryl annoys me.
What were your thoughts on Mei Ling? I specifically
I don't
fake
the fake Chinese accent. No, so that's what I didn't specifically mention Mei Ling because I refuse to acknowledge.
Yeah, that accent's pretty.
yeah.
It was the 90s.
It was 90. Did you?
That accent is not in Twin Snakes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was a. There are a lot of criticisms you can make about the Twin Snakes dialogue deliveries. That is one of the things you could argue they did better.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, yeah, but like I actually genuinely enjoyed like part of the reason why the protocols I think are so good is because the actors are just really good.
Yeah.
And like I don't mind listening to them.
Is Naomi the only one with an accent?
You mean
I remember
Mei
that.
Ling.
Mei
Mei
Ling.
Ling. Natasha has like a Russian accent.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
she has a Russian.
Same
Yeah,
thing
like-
with Sniper Wolf, right?
Yeah.
Sniper Wolf has a Russian accent. Vulcan doesn't have an accent, but he
He does talk.
weird.
Yeah.
I guess I
way.
was just thinking about Ocelot since he just mostly sounds like he's Russian, right?
Liquid sounds kind of.
Oh well, okay. So Liquid does have an. He's English.
Yeah.
I think.
He's European.
I think he is actually English. I think I did like. I had a few like wiki reads, not like too far into the story or into the actual series, but like just to get some clarification of kind of who's who in this game sometimes. But yeah, I think I did read Liquid is actually English, so that's why he has a English accent.
So was that part like just Campbell looking into Naomi? Just like was that just Liquid fucking with us? Because
Naomi being a spy or whatever.
yeah,
No, I think because Campbell didn't know about the Fox Dice stuff, or did he?
I don't think so.
Because he was like, "Oh, we found her." You know what? I don't know. Well, actually, we're talking about stories, so we kind of have to talk. So
So let's try to go in order. To bring some structure to.
Okay. So terrorists take over a nuclear testing facility.
I don't know if we have to because, like, first of all, if somebody's gotten this far, they know what Metal Gear is. So
I mean, like structure for us. I feel like we're gonna be too all
over the place. Is this? Yeah. So yeah, that's the premise. Like the terrorists take over nuclear testing.
Well, we know the premise. Is there anything specifically in the beginning that you want to talk about?
Did the what did I guess like what were you guys'
scroll through?
Yeah, what were you guys' thoughts on when you met the DARPA chief and the Fox die
killed him?
Yeah.
Okay, so I thought that was a Psycho Mantis thing.
Yes,
Okay.
I think I thought something similar too.
Yeah, I thought it was like a hallucination. Like obviously, I think around here is like you get another. I don't know. It's obviously a cutscene for the player, not Snake, showing Otacon and Liquid like killing the DARPA chief.
Otacon?
Not an Otacon. I don't. So Otacon and Ocelot I mix up because both their names have O. Anyway, Ocelot and Liquid killing the DARPA chief, and then I don't know who says it. Was it Ocelot who was like, "Oh, but I have a plan," or was it like Decoy Octopus? I was like, was he ever shown not as?
I don't.
That's how good he is.
Anyway. So obviously that cutscene happens where it's like very much a big hint that who you're speaking to is not actually who he says. I thought this was like a hallucination made by Psycho Mantis. That's what I thought.
Yeah. I was kind of dummy, and I thought that they were like, I thought that they killed the Arms Tech president and not the DARPA chief.
Well, like right now?
No. You're like when that cutscene happened of like Ocelot's like, oh, we fucked up and killed the guy.
They killed the Arms Tech president?
Yeah, I thought it was the Arms Tech president. I thought this.
So what did you think when you actually got to the Arms Tech president?
Oh my god, they hired a new president real fast.
Oh my god.
Something was going on. And then like I just didn't think about it after because I'm kind of stupid.
Anyway.
I'm sorry.
What do you guys think about Meryl?
I think she's an interesting character.
I think she's fine, but the way this is structured is like there has to be moments of trauma dumping in the middle of like going to a boss fight or whatever.
Yeah,
it's like, come on, bro.
I think that's just the consequence of this game, like being as like short and fast paced as it is, and then them trying to
fit everything into such a
Like at some points they're just gonna have to just blatantly talk about the character to try to make you care for them in a way.
As I mentioned earlier, like that is like kind of like a Kojima thing that, and that's not me trying to justify it. That's just like a quirk with his like the way he writes things. That he likes to write exposition, and he's not very good at spacing it out all the time.
It's just at least with the Meryl, some of it is really egregious. With like. They'll be talking about the situation, and then like there'll be a slight lull in the conversation, and then she'll go, well, Snake, and then I'm like, oh my fucking god, here we go again. Like we're talking about how to get out of here, and then hey, by the way, just as a little aside, thought you should know about me, and I'm like, really, we're doing this now? Like it's so obvious that like. Kojima wrote this?
Yeah.
Like everything? Or
I think so.
It is very obvious that it's like he doesn't have any other spot in the writing for this type of exposition to happen naturally. It has to be a, oh, by the way, type of deal instead of a actually happening like naturally. It has to be, oh, we have to get out of here. By the way, would you like to know where I'm from? It's like, come on, bro. Like, and it's just really obvious, like where his mind is at the time, like during the writing. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's like, oh, I need to find space for this to be.
It feels too contrived.
Yeah.
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 Anyway.
I think it's just the contents of it fit like the theme of the overall like story.
What is the overall theme of this story?
I'm bad with alliterating my thoughts, articulating my thoughts. Soldiers, and how they, as individuals, I guess, the different types of soldiers and how they, have to be and whatnot. And like, Snake goes on, oh yeah, you gotta be callous, ruthless, and like everyone is like, a soldier. They're like fighting and stuff. I don't know. That's like, I guess, a theme I got with this game, and I felt like the writing was like, at least not the like some of the like stuff talked about in the stuff was put out. I'm going to.
I know.
Get one? I'm
Listen,
sorry.
I don't know. Do you want me to cut out?
Having a stroke right
Do you want me to cut out that like everything, or should I keep that in?
I don't know, dude. I'm off. This is like happens. Like I have like an idea.
Listen, I think you're trying to say the theme of like how a soldier should act,
The expectations of a soldier.
of what a soldier is and of
Yes.
how they are,
Yeah.
and versus like what the reality is. Like they're all humans, and they still experience things or whatever. So like the transition of like Snake being a very like he's like kind of an asshole in the beginning to being like someone who is like very openly
More
empathetic towards Meryl and Otacon especially. Like that journey is, I guess, the theme of this game. To me actually,
It kind of happens kind of fast. I feel like, and then like in a bit of an unrealistic sense. As again, it's like this is
Kind of, yeah, a
Yeah,
little
this is the
bit,
course of like
12 hours. or
yeah,
something.
12 hours, right? Like
Yeah.
like the night of this day, and like to the point where again that's like I think that's what was trying to be like the Snake's character progression was trying to go towards there, and then I think the what's his name, Gray Fox.
The
Fox.
cyborg ninja.
Cyborg.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was like the pin like the I guess the apex of that, right? Just like Snake in earlier in the game would do that, right? He would do that like I guess with like less hesitation, but like he throughout this 12 hours suddenly became more human.
It also does, yeah, like I said, it also does for players who are more familiar with the franchise. They would have already known who Gray Fox was. There'd be a little bit more emotional weight to that scene. It would have felt a little bit more natural. I say a little bit.
Yeah. I don't know if that's the theme of this game, but I mean, it's definitely
It's definitely Snake's character.
yeah,
arc.
like that's his character arc. But I think the overall message of the game is not necessarily that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, I agree.
I don't know if I'm just reading too much into it, and I'm very, very anti, especially American military. But we don't have to go into it. Like I feel like this really was just like, how do I say this? The thing is, it's like how do I not be like political?
I don't think you
talk
can.
about Metal Gear. I don't
Yeah.
know.
That's what I know.
Like that kind of comes with the territory.
I think I don't think you can like just avoid.
Woke Kojima ruined Metal Gear with Metal Gear Solid, making it political.
Yeah, I don't think you can like talk about this game without like talking about the geopolitical aspects of the American military.
Yeah.
Can you avoid that, by the way, that grenade?
I don't know if you can maybe if you stand all the way back.
I always just ate it.
I gotta say, is the messaging for? I'm really trying to avoid being like overtly political, even though actually I don't mind being like my politics out there. It's just this is like the whole thing.
That was so
Well, that's
funny.
important for later.
Yeah, it's only important that because Kojima wanted it to be important. Anyway, I don't mind my politics being out there. I'm a fucking liberal commie, just for anyone to want to know. But discussing politics can be a little weird, especially when it comes to
Or gaming podcast.
gaming podcasts. So that's why I'm like very hesitant. But I gotta
think
ask
if
though.
I think if it's like about the game.
Yeah,
I think it's
is
like,
the messaging like typically the same in like the rest of the MGS games?
Like concerning like the
Nukes and
Yeah, that is like an ongoing thing throughout all of
Okay.
it. Like
Ye-
ever since like the original ones, even.
yeah. I mean, obviously, it's very like anti-war, or at the very least, like the sort of opportunistic sort of what's the word I'm trying to go for? Like
commercialization.
It's not. No, and it's not that. It's like the United States government is willing to sort of cannibalize its own soldiers for profit. Like
That is like the main, like sort of the driving factor behind Big Boss and his whole
yes,
thing. Yeah.
right. So that. In this universe, in the MGS universe, the United States government is obviously very willing to cannibalize its own soldiers for profit because war is profitable and whatever.
and only in this universe.
And obviously, like it's there's a commentary of the big of you know of the commodization of war, but in sort of a it's distilled into the eyes of the soldier. Obviously, like big characters like Solid Snake or whatever, but like he has the point of view of a soldier.
Yeah.
And same thing. I'm assuming same thing with like Big Boss too as well.
Yeah.
And it's like they are seeing how they are being used by bigger people, So I don't know. I don't really know what Kojima's like politics are. Obviously, I think he's pretty anti-war. I think.
Yeah.
Right. So it's interesting to me then that it's not like this political drama. Like it's not a political drama. It's more like
Yeah, that's just like the back.
yeah, that is in the backdrop of the journey of these individual characters, sort of coming to the realization of they're pawns for the most part, and that they are some of them are like either fighting back in different ways. I feel right, so I think Snake being a pawn of the Pentagon, like that he doesn't even know, and I think like at the end of the game he kind of chooses to sort of not be a soldier really, like he's more empathetic, blah blah, like that's his character arc or whatever.
Other people like Foxhound. Other people have different motivations, but mostly just like fighting back against that notion.
Yeah, Campbell
like directly.
Like Campbell is willing to, I guess, commit treason really to try and prevent the bombers, right, for like a little bit. So like it's interesting. Like I think it could have been a more preachy sort of game by Kojima, like in terms of being like anti-war and like being anti-nuclear weapons and stuff like that. But I like the fact that it is distilled into like the ground level of like where it would impact those people more, like the colonel and then the members of the operation. I don't know if they have a name. Like, do they have a name? Like the team? Does the team have a name?
They
That's just the backdrop of like this. Would you say it's character-driven story?
Yeah, I okay. Yes, I think that's why maybe when I did tell you to be like, oh, what is the themes of the story? I was kind of taunting you a little bit because I think you would have latched on to the story. I think like Snake's story in particular, but there is like just a big like actual messaging of it beyond what we see throughout the 12 hours of the game.
Yeah.
So what happened? Did you find?
no, I'm just like, because I thought it was Foxhound because Foxhound like split up into two things. But yeah, I don't think they refer to themselves like, because Snake used to be part of Foxhound.
Yeah, Snake and Campbell, right?
Yeah.
They used to be Foxhound. But the actual team for this operation, I think, don't have a name. I think it's just I call the team.
I guess.
right? Like
yeah.
it's just. But anyway, what was it? Oh yeah, so yeah, like it's this small group of people who are, either coming to the realization of their roles in the sort of greater picture, or in what their masters have planned for them or whatever, in terms of being pawns of the government, and then fighting in certain ways. Snake being just,
Reluctant, like
I guess, I don't know. Snake doesn't really fight. He just kind of.
I feel like he just like reluctantly does what he's told. Like he still does what he's told for the most part. But
Yeah.
like he always like shows he does voice his disdain.
By the end of the game, like sort of his survival.
Oh, yeah, you know what,
and,
yeah.
and if he values that, but that just kind of happens to
Yeah.
line up with like the actual like the goals of everyone else or of his command.
Oh God.
I was like, it still feels like this is something he has to do because I feel
Well, just to save the world. Just
Yeah.
beyond. Anyway.
he very much like at any point in time he very much could just probably fuck off, but I guess also there's the shit the government put in him.
Anyway, was my analysis fairly spot on for?
That's definitely like for the overall
Yeah.
franchise. Yeah.
You know what, Kenji? I think Kojima's trying to say that war is great and we should have more wars.
I mean, he kept making these games, and they're all
He
wars,
did.
so I guess it must be something.
So
You think this game glazes the military?
a little bit. Like I think it glazes the individuals a little bit too much. I don't want to say it glazes the actual military, because I think the bigger commentary is against the military, but like mostly against the people who control it, not necessarily
Yeah.
the individuals who are in the military. But at the same time, I think it God, again, talking about politics, it kind of alleviates the blame sometimes from the individuals, just because they're like, oh yeah, they're just following orders. Like I don't.
That could be maybe just like a convenience for the writing as to not meddle the overall or like the message.
I get it. No, I get it. It's just like I don't think Snake is a good guy. I
think like literally every single protagonist by the end of the franchise is like deemed a terrorist at some
I
point.
think that's fine. It's just I guess my gripe is it's easy for people to take this at very like surface level, right? Because it's like Anyway, I think I might be injecting a bit of my own politics into it, just a bit too much. So that's why I'm not gonna speak on it too much. But anyway,
I think as a starting analysis, I think it just I think there is just a value in how you see it, and like again, as someone with different like views and whatnot could probably get a different message.
I might chop this up, like my yap sesh about this. I might chop it up just to make it more palatable for YouTube. Just so I don't know. Anyway,
Yeah.
I guess one thing that I do know, just because like I do know a little bit about like what Kojima has said about his games in retrospect. That the first 3 MGS games do have like their own unique theming, with this one being that concept like genes, like genetics plays a big role in this game. And he wanted to sort of explore like the idea that like rejecting the idea that your genetics dictate like the type of person that you are.
Interesting. Okay, but so here's the thing. I feel like that kind of talk really happens towards the end of this game.
A bit in the beginning, like with the
what?
With like how Naomi's talking about genes a bit, like does my genes? Do you see my future?
Because like there's like the whole thing with the genome soldiers like literally being created like to be a perfect soldier or
Yeah.
army of
No, but again, it doesn't usually that kind of happens at the end of the game, right? Like towards the end.
well, there's like the big exposition dump at the end, but that was like the premise.
I don't remember the term genome soldier ever being used in the beginning.
It was there. I'm pretty sure.
I just must have missed it or something.
And also like the key card using your fucking whatever the fuck in your body to.
Okay, see, I thought that was just some stupid justification
Well, no, that
for
was,
motion
no, 'cause
detection.
because that plays into the idea of also like the fox die virus.
Okay.
Sort of like the idea that things like being passed on or spread through the proximity of each other.
Okay, interesting. I honestly, I just kind of missed that for this game. But like, what is he saying? Like for I guess specifically for what is being
I think in
spread
that case it was just like the setup of the idea.
of
Like
what?
to get that into your head, like that genetics will play a big role, or like the like your physical self will be like important to like the snake rejecting his like literal
His
like,
programming.
Yeah, his literal like reason for being created or and the process he was created.
Okay, I guess. Yeah.
I think saying like, I think yeah, just being said out loud like that, I see it. But if it wasn't like explicitly said like that, I just would not have
Like obviously,
taken that from that.
I got that from. Again, it's really towards the end. Like I guess I just missed it. Like this whole. I'm gonna be honest. The whole genome stuff, only to me, really only happened once like Liquid started yapping like directly, like, and then it started to go into that of like Snake rejecting his programming or whatever. Still though, I think well anyway. So is the whole thing about like spreading the things? Is that just to get you to think about biological whatever?
I think for this game it does play a bigger role in the second game where it compares genetics and memetics.
So what is Kojima trying to say?
I don't know like what he's trying to say with those 3 installments, like why he picked those themes specifically, or if that's just like he just wanted each game to be based around a specific idea, maybe. Because like what you were saying earlier is like very spot on for like the overall series, like even like extending beyond the first 3 MGS games.
Okay. I guess maybe then it was definitely interjecting some of my like I guess knowledge of other games in the series and kind of I guess what they're about. So I guess whenever they like I can understand. Okay, he wanted this game to be about genetics and fighting against, or
also,
like your
that
genetics
sort
don't
of
determine.
fiction, like biological sci-fi, was just very popular at the time. Also,
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I guess I find that a little less interesting than
that's why like,
political.
I guess not to sidetrack too much. When I was listening to Liquid's speech about like how like the genome soldiers are like gonna die because all of them have the same genetic code or whatever.
Yeah.
Like this is literally one of the Ring books.
Oh yeah.
Like it's literally the same shit. Like there's a speech that is exactly the same fucking thing. I was like, I guess this is just what fiction in this era was like.
Yeah, I guess I never really cared for that type of speech because it was like nobody has this problem IRL. Like no one's like, oh no, my genome is faulty. Like no one. So I guess that messaging was just lost on me, and I'm like I typically gravitate
the idea
towards...
of diversity could be obviously extended to different things.
I can see that, but that goes into there's like some uncomfortable assumptions made if you were to sort of take that and run it and like apply it to real people instead of MGS clones. So I don't know. It's like nobody is made to be like a heartless killer or anything. Like if you are to say that Snake is created to be a heartless killer, that makes sense in universe, right? Because of like whatever. But like if you're gonna apply that to real people, who and why do you think that way? And why do you think that this particular group of people needs to fight against their genetics, right?
Yeah.
Like that's a little uncomfortable. So that's why maybe I chose to ignore that type of,
like, I don't know.
or like, and nobody is like doomed because of the genes that they were born with, unless it's like an actual health defect. But that's not like that's not like an actual like person problem. That's like an actual health thing. So I don't know. That type of, I guess, for this game in particular, just doesn't. I guess, one, it goes over my head a little bit, and two, I think it's a little less uninteresting, and three,
I like applying it.
It only applies to the people in this game. I feel like it doesn't. You can't really apply that to real people, because then it gets real uncomfortable real quick.
Yeah. Because you died. I don't know if you want to cut this out. The only like example I could think of is like the comfortable subject of eugenics.
Yeah.
Like and how that is just fucked up and not really accepted. So
yeah, I'm not exactly sure if that would be the thing you would be commentating of.
Yeah,
that's a very specific and extreme.
Yeah, but it's like what else?
Yeah, like what else?
Like I said, I think it might just be a thing that was just like a popular.
Yeah. Like if that's what that
sci-fi thing going on in that sort of like the 90s.
Yeah, like if that's what that is, and it makes sense. I think in this game,
it also
and if we're talking about like themes and like
overall not
messaging,
to apply that theme to a person specifically, like a person or their personality.
Yeah.
But just like I think like because of like the AIDS crisis, stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
And like a lot of that type of just calling attention to how like biological aspects in sci-fi was just like very in vogue.
Yeah, you know what? I think I could just leave all this in. Like, regardless of whether or not our interpretation is correct or not, I think it's interesting enough to like this game invokes in discussion about.
Yeah, like I'm not sure if Kojima was trying to say
anything about
something specific, like that general.
Yeah.
With that theme, like I think it literally could have been just as simple as just that was what was popular at the time.
Yeah, which again, it's fine if that's that. I guess in my head I just kind of. I didn't take that as like a big talking point, as like a discussion for the messaging or the themes of this game. It's just that's what's in this game. It's like the fiction part of this game. But anyway, it turns out when you really open up the writing in this game, it's deep. Like deep in the sense that. You could interpret it in. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know.
I forgot another early on thing about genetics was when Otacon was talking about like how just 3 generation of Emmerich men just so happened to have something to do with like nuclear armament and the progression of it.
I don't know. That stuff just doesn't really catch me because it's so. How do I verbalize this? That's going off of the assumption of the worldview that yes, genetics do play a part in your personality, and and you need the game to tell you no.
I think that
that's why it makes me uncomfortable.
I don't think they mean like in that sense. I don't think it's like literally your genetics, but like your family or
like how you're raised.
Yeah.
So that's usually
because that is the. So I guess
this is the nature versus nurture thing.
Yes,
and I'm very much a like nurture type of person. Like I don't think anyone is born anything.
Each of that is part of like. Again, this might have been in retrospect. I don't know how much Kojima like planned this out.
Yeah.
Especially for the third one, but like the nature versus nurture was like, it's like each game sort of in these first three explore like one path of that,
Okay.
or one aspect of that argument.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Okay.
And sort of like contrast them, or it compares and contrasts them with each other.
Okay. Okay. Put in that sort of lens, it makes sense a little
Again,
bit more.
yeah, like I said, again, this could be Kojima just saying after the fact, like it's like these are interviews like years later.
Yeah. Okay. Like, especially now that you've put it in the sense of like it's just an exploration of the idea, that makes a little more sense to me. And rather, because I think we were coming off of like messaging talk.
No, yeah, no, I
So
don't
like,
think-
okay, that makes a little bit more sense to me, and it's definitely a lot more comfortable. But yeah, okay, that makes a lot more sense. I get it now. I'm on board. It's a lot of interesting ideas being presented, and especially the fact that it's being presented and explored with like a military. Like, it is nice that this is a discussion we can have talking about like in a game where I get, if you were to take it surface level, you're just the guy shooting people and like sneaking
Yeah,
around.
you can enjoy it just as like some sort of espionage action thing.
Military
Yeah.
game instead of like something to talk about. So it's nice. And I think I kind of, I am not like the biggest Kojima fan or his writing, but I think it definitely, like, he really, like, I think he one, he has good ideas. I feel like a good,
Yeah.
and then I think the fact that he wants to explore these ideas and knows how to do it well enough that it really sucks people in. Like, I we got kind of sucked into this conversation, just sort of figuring out what exactly is being said or what he wants to say. And I don't know, it's he. I don't like calling people geniuses because I don't think like geniuses are a bit, maybe the word is either too overused or there's no actual genius.
Misused, yeah.
Anyway, but he's a really smart guy. He's a really creative person. And while I'm not the biggest Kojima glazer, I think he does deserve much of his accolade and his acclaim. So, good stuff, Kojima, if you ever watch this.
There was also another slight theme of just like randomly in there with like just Ocelot, and I think it just ties into like people being used in general. Like one where I kind of personally resonated a bit, like a tad, was like how as like he was a scientist who got tricked into
You say Ocelot or Otter?
Otacon.
He's Otacon.
God damn it!
You see, it ain't just me.
And you put this in my brain. Otacon was like a guy who just got like who wants to. His main motivation was like pretty silly, but like yeah, he didn't want to make like a nuclear thing, right? He was just like tricked and used by the government into making this bad thing, right? Like, and I guess I think it's cool, just like my background as an engineer. This is things you have to think about in, like, I guess as a code of ethics, right? And like, yeah.
I like how much of that, like, I thought fairly deep discussion was just
A
we are
setup.
we are in the corner and we're just watching me fumble on Ocelot fight. That's why I like this podcast. It's like some of my, like, I wish we could do things better is like transitioning between like us in the camera having conversations and then having like actual relevant gameplay when we're actually talking about it. So
this would be better if this is like edited in after the fact rather
or
than
if we had like
a stream deck or something.
yeah, I don't know. Whatever. But at the very least, it is, I think, fine enough. There's people watching something while we app.
Yeah.
Like, they don't actually need to see us, but I think it'd be nice to actually have, like, a good transition. But anyway, I think, how long have we been going?
I think it's 2 hours.
So one thing that
gosh.
I don't know how relevant it was at the time this game came out in like '98, I think.
Yeah, I think it was 98.
Was that like a few years later? Was in all like the cloning shit was in the news about like cloning animals.
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
I don't know. That was something that was like already, like people cared about that at that point. But I find that whole thing, like, yeah, the timeline of that to be very interesting.
I think I should elaborate.
Kojima is a prophet.
I am a computer science person, so
He's the
Engineer.
boring. He's the boring
No.
engineer.
engineer quotes. I don't really. That's a label.
Ariel
that
builds things.
I
and
build things.
cars,
Yeah.
robots,
Yeah.
Metal Gears.
Well, I made
Listen, okay, well, we talked about. I think we spoke like an hour about gameplay. Spoke, we talked maybe like maybe a little bit less than an hour talking about, story, themes, messaging.
I think it wasn't like an hour. I saw it like when we started talking about it, like 110.
So,
Before we like wrap up,
because we should,
Yeah.
like honestly, because this is a game that we really could. Did we end up going back in the recording at some point?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. Because we were at like
we were at Rex at some point.
Yeah.
No. But I thought during the even the story discussion, we saw this scene.
We went back. Yeah.
What for? What did we go back for?
Well, when we brought the DARPA chief, I think we went back to earlier. Are you talking about this scene specifically? Or
Yeah,
this time we're going back?
this speed. This.
Oh, I don't.
Because we were at the Ocelite fight like
No,
way
no,
earlier.
no. I'm talking about we were talking about story already. We were already talking about story, and this scene was already happening.
I don't remember.
You know what? Whatever. This is gonna
Type
be.
in the comments.
Yeah, type in the comments. This is gonna be a really hard episode to edit, I think, because one, I don't want us to sound like. Maybe I'll just leave everything and fuck. If we sound like idiots, we sound like idiots.
Yeah, and no, if we sound like idiots, people will correct us in the comments, driving engagement.
Okay, you're right. You're so right. All right.
I wanted to bring up like how do you guys feel about the cutscenes of this game, like with the actual like quality of the cutscenes, like the camera and everything.
I think in 1998, this would be really cool. This is not 1998, but I can see where they're going.
You know what? I'm gonna be a little bit more nicer. I think it's filmed nicely.
Yeah. No,
So like,
Yeah,
I say
like-
filmed because I think this could be a movie.
The camera, there's a lot more thought put into the camera
Yeah.
placement than most video game cutscenes.
Yeah. So like even modern ones.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like I think it's a little harsh if you're like, oh yeah, for 1998. I think it's done well. Like I think you're just maybe looking at like the way they look and the fact that every time they talk they have to like jitter a little bit because no mouths are moving.
It could be just because like my first console was PS1. Like
Yeah.
it could be nostalgia of it. I do genuinely like
The
PS1
blocky-
aesthetic. Yeah.
Yeah,
Especially
I kinda
feel
like it too.
This game also like because if you're to compare like the graphics or the character models in this game to like say like Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
I feel like this holds up.
No, this is
lot
way
more.
better than
Like
Tomb Raider 1
there
especially.
is some sort of stylization that they figured out.
Yeah, no, because what was I trying to say? This looks good, right?
yeah.
I think, treating the PS1 graphics as an aesthetic. Yeah,
I like it. It might also because PS1 was also my first.
it can be Elden Ring was released on a PS1.
Elden Ring
and it
has
looks
like
amazing.
there's like 5 cutscenes.
Oh, I'm not gonna lie. The live action stuff kind of was a little jarring.
Yeah.
Like to,
Hey, man,
but like
they got those PS1 CDs. We could fit so much footage.
yeah.
I think.
It's really only the ending with those random shots of Alaska.
Yeah,
With
that
like
was
the
a
polar
bit-
bear,
yeah.
and I'm like,
You
the
know-
fuck is going on?
I think it works a bit in the way of like, oh yeah, this shit's real. Like,
The polar bears.
well, no.
Can we go? Just scroll this if we can't find. It's just
Like at the very end. I'm sure we can get to it.
I was,
Oh no, I went too far.
No, I think no, because
It's after
No,
the
it's not post cutscene.
I thought it was post
No,
credits.
post credits rather.
It was post credits.
Was it post credits?
Yeah. Oh, it was. It's like the first post credits.
Oh right, with it was fucking.
No, go back.
It was with Naomi, right?
Yeah, like
It was
Naomi,
on-
like
yeah,
that was one.
mid credits.
Like that was one, and then there was another one. Oh gosh, go
What
forward.
was that? It?
You might have skipped it because it's really not that long, I guess. But yeah, it's
No, that's
yeah.
that was one of them.
But it's like
I mean, I think this is because remember, what's his face? Snake did say that he. What is he? What is the word he used? What are they called?
caribou.
No.
What the fuck? He is a caribou.
He was talking about dogs, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm a something."
I want to say musher. I don't think.
Yeah,
that's a
I
word.
like musher, but like that sounds weird. That sounds really weird. Anywho,
I was thinking like oh yeah, this shit's like. Yeah, nukes exist IRL, and I don't know.
What? We're filming at your place now.
Anyways, closing thoughts.
do you have autism?
Maybe.
Yes, Fox die.
Anyway. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Look, this is 2 hours long. I keep saying, like, do we want to, like, scroll through this footage and see if there's anything you want to talk about, like, specifically about fights?
What did you think about the after credits?
With Otacon and talking
The
about...
Otacon? It's two completely.
It's Otacon and Ocelot. It's like Otacon OCELOT. Well, okay. Well, it's not the same amount, but
You keep calling it's like syllables,
yeah,
Ocelot.
Otacon, Ocelot.
Hey, but you keep calling Ocelot Otacon.
I know.
And I keep calling Otacon Ocelot.
But because I genuinely mixed them. Anyway, Ocelot with Ocelot and Solidus, the president of the United States.
Yeah.
No, that is not sauce.
Well, okay. What I think?
Yeah. Does that intrigue you for?
It does intrigue me. So okay,
tad.
I'm not gonna lie. The gameplay was hard. Not hard. No, it wasn't that hard. It was frustrating, and I really don't want to play this game again. But the writing was decent enough, and I'm interested in the other games, but you got to give it like a cooldown period.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna do it back to back.
You gotta give it a cooldown
I don't
period.
want to turn this into like a blank franchise channel.
Yeah. So,
Wait,
Yeah.
we're not doing the Frog Faction 3P.
Look, I'm saying if Scorn becomes a franchise, we have to do it.
or what did you think of the post-credit scene?
It was I don't like these type of games, so I would if like it does like it's not enough to.
Let's say if you were able to just digest the story and the writing in a different media form of media, like does that interest you enough?
I guess I was like, oh okay, that's cool. I think it was like more so just like, oh right, as Kenji like told me a bunch of like
Yeah, Ara already knows some like MGS2 stuff, so I
Right.
don't know if how much he can say without like spoiling you.
yeah no because Kenji is like there's just many times Kenji
Can we go
went
back
into
to our full screen? Everybody, this fucking this.
There's been many times Kenji just in the car ride against my will, just talks about Metal Gear, and it's like, and I just go along with it. So I know like it just cleared up a whole bunch of things for me. It's like, oh yeah, all right, Ocelot was a thing, and like I guess it shows. I think it just cleared more things up.
Ocelot. No, I'm just kidding. No, you got him. I fucking got him. He almost corrected himself. Oh, that's crazy. Oh, crazy.
It cleared up things with Ocelot with me because I knew I knew that's there's just a whole bunch of stuff with Ocelot.
Yeah, like Ocelot was acting weird, like not so into it. Not like Liquid was.
Yeah.
Liquid was really into it.
you're gonna do it. But yeah, it's like so. Yeah, I knew like Ocelot's role in like the other games. And it's like, and also like I guess in the things like, oh yeah, he's so good at torture. And it's like, why would he accidentally kill the DARPA chief? And it's like, oh,
Can I just play MGS5 and be like, and be fine?
No.
no, I know that answer. No.
If we ever somehow miraculously we get that far in the franchise on this podcast, I don't see how that would ever happen. But I have a lot of problems with MGS5.
I liked MGS5.
I think I would like MGS5 more.
MGS5 is very fun, I think. So,
It is the most repetitive out of any of these games.
Just kill all your problems, Kenji.
I'm gonna start with you.
the gameplay was like fine. I don't know. The gameplay was like I don't know.
We're
Whatever.
gonna talk about MGS5.
Right.
Like a decade, we'll talk about MGS5.
We're probably gonna get we should wrap because this is
Yeah.
Listen, MGS 1, Metal Gear Solid 1 is
An okay game.
an okay game, but I think it's obviously there's a lot to it. And there's a reason why this is a 2 hour and like 30-minute recording, because there's a lot to talk about and there's a lot to enjoy.
And there's a lot of things to say
There's
about.
a lot of things to say, which makes I think that makes it honestly a great piece of media, regardless of what
what we have to say about it.
regardless of what we have to say about it, especially in terms of gameplay or whatever.
You can't deny that this game is just iconic. It's one of, I think I used the word quintessential.
Yeah.
Video game.
It's worth playing. I think it's worth experiencing. It's worth the slog and frustrations. I'm glad to have played it. I am, and honestly, I am. I'm. This is what I like this podcast because I would never have played MGS1 in its entirety. I probably would have given it a shot just because of how much you like Metal Gear, and I like Metal Gear Solid 5. Sue me. So it's like I would have tried it, and again, I think I would have quit at Ocelot.
I don't think I would have tried this game.
So
I think just there's Kenji and me just have some games that fundamentally we do not agree on.
All right. Anyway,
I don't give them 2 out of 10s, Kenji.
regardless of
If you're gonna keep talking like that, I'm gonna give it negative. I don't know what the next game is. I'm gonna get negative.
Oh no!
regardless,
My game, you can't do that, Kenji.
Yeah, I can.
You can't.
Oh, I wanted Blasphemous. You know that like 2D, like beat 'em up side scroller thing with like the weird visuals with like the Jesus stuff and like you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Oh, I
Yeah,
think
no,
you
I
will
remember.
once I will show you.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
on sale, and I kind of wanted to bring that up. I wanted that to be, or I thought. Anyway, we can talk about it later.
Wheel?
It is gonna be a wheel. We have to do the wheel now. But I guess closing thoughts. My personal closing thoughts about the game. It really is, to me, it's a 6 out of 10 game, but it's like it's bigger than the game. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
like the
it's-
actual identity of Metal Gear Solid 1 is bigger than the actual game. So I don't know if that makes sense, but that's how I feel. I don't know if you two have
Influence
anything.
can be seen everywhere.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Again, I think I'm a guy who thinks gameplay is the end all be all. So even though it has all these things going for it, I just can't personally get past like that, like just having to play the game for it to like appreciate the other things as much. Or no, I do appreciate it, but like ultimately, I value a video game in its being a video game and playing it.
I think this game still holds up pretty well, all things considered, especially compared to like other like PS1 era, like early 3D games. Gameplay wise, it definitely shows its age. Like especially like comparing it to like the same franchise, even like it does it. like the MGS 2 and 3 do like the top-down camera stealth better than this game. But I think, like, in the context when it came out, obviously it was very important.
Yeah.
It's probably mind-blowing at the time. I can only imagine.
Yeah.
But yeah, playing it now, I think I still do enjoy it. Like if someone were to make like a throwback game like this, like I would probably play it. Story wise, obviously, like we had like an hour discussion on story, which is like the first time that's ever happened.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's very intriguing at the very least, or thought provoking.
Thought provoking is definitely the word.
I would say to anyone who is like hesitant to play this, to at least like give it a shot, especially like if you already played through some of the other MGS games, like the PS2 ones especially.
I think you should play Twin Snakes instead.
And to anyone who enjoys Twin Snakes, I think you should make like Ocelot or Ocelot. Well, no, wait.
What is happening?
Wait, no, that's spoilers.
Otacon.
That's spoilers. That's
Okay.
spoilers. That's for later. You should
Okay.
make like Liquid and Fox Die.
Okay. Well, I am glad to have had this game for our podcast. So let's pull up a whale.
And then we're gonna do the.
Okay. We are here on the Great Wheel.
I'm sure no one is actually watching at this point. But,
It's
yeah.
fine. It's fine. At some point, hopefully,
Someone
we're-
will actually.
Yeah.
The retention will be here.
Anyway, Ariel has Celeste, like he's had last time. I ended up putting Destroy All Humans 2 just because this was a very heavy game, very thought-provoking game, and let's just be stupid now, and let's just play Destroy All Humans 2. I don't think we'll get anything of substance from that game. I think if this hits Destroy All Humans 2, it might actually be a waste of time.
No, I'll figure out how to fucking
What?
derail this entire podcast in some sort of conspiracy involving aliens or some
Okay.
shit.
Well, hey, you know what? Fuck it.
I'll make this most problematic
ahead.
podcast off of Destroy All Humans too.
I'm kind of hoping we get Destroy All Humans 2. It's just like a stupid fun game. Celeste, I don't really know too much about, but whatever. I'll play it. Okay, let's spin.
Spin that wheel.
Is it gonna go in order? Oh no, we're playing Celeste. Looks like
Woohoo!
we're playing
All right.
Celeste.
Speaking about politics,
What I think I know what it is, but I don't. Hold on, let me look.
yeah, no, the story. So, the story is very much a trans allegory.
So Matrix.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah. Again, I think speaking about not injecting personal politics into this, but with a game like Celeste, you're gonna have to talk about it at some point.
So you're going to out yourself as a raging transphobe.
No.
Okay, that's crazy. Anyway, do you have any like
Stipulations
or like
or
hey, you should
requirements.
play this game like this or on this difficulty?
So there's no difficulty in this game.
Okay.
They do have certain modifiers into the thing, and the developers have said like any way to get to the end screen is valid. So that's this thing. Just get to the final level any way you want. If you want to turn on infinite stamina, if you want to turn on infinite walking or whatever, is like developer said that is a way to play the game, and it's same as doing none of that. I would say so. This game is 8 hours long, 20 hours if you try to do all the things. I would say just play the level to the end, and if you want to do some of the because there's strawberries like the
Collectible
extra
things.
collectibles,
Yeah.
and like that's like a big thing that to get like more time. Like that would like take up more of your time. If you want to do them, but if you just want to get through, just get to the end of the level.
Okay, cool. I'm actually really excited because that means next podcast episode I get to have the stupid the
Oh, you gotta have your joke
I
pick
get to
on
have
the
the
wheel.
joke pick
Oh, I'm
Get
scared.
ready, get ready to play Wizard 101, boys.
Oh,
Anyway, okay, so we'll be playing Celeste. Episode 6 of Now Installing will be episode 6.
Episode 6 will be episode 6.
Will be episode 6. It will
I'm
be
so
about.
excited.
It will be about Celeste.
spoiler! The whole theme is trans women can double jump. That's it.
Are they white?
She is.
It's actually fucking false.
I have never heard any story discussion of Celeste. The only things I know about Celeste is accessibility options and speed running.
It is a good
alright,
speed
anyway.
game.
Thanks
the tech. It's
for
fun. I
watching,
like it.
everyone. This is our longest podcast episode,
Mm-hmm.
but I think I like this episode. It was good. Okay, yeah, I think we're good now. Bye. I keep saying a lot.